You're right, JB. Hudson touchdown is scored there. It is 6-0 right now in favor of Hudson. And going for the extra point. So we thought. And it's good. 7-0 there. Let's go to the Salisbury game, which I believe we have a good connection on right now.
Okay. In the RPI game, they just blocked the kick for the Saints, but here we are. The Wolverines. This drive's been going on for a while now, Frank, taking up a good chunk of the first quarter here, inside the 15-yard line right now, and
Wolverines inside the red zone, 3rd and 4.
Should be interesting to see what they have to do here.
Looks like they're going to force a field goal attempt here coming up.
Now we'll go on down the 10, test that wind out as we head towards a field goal situation.
Yeah, Chris, this is.
Yeah, I've heard the wind be brought up in a couple of different broadcasts today, Frank. I mentioned it during the Hobart one, and it sounds like it's affecting things down there. And oh, hey, look at the back of the those windbreakers. You can see that it's
well, they're going to shoot the field goal here, JB. So it looks like Wesley's going to go for it here on 4th and 4, and
why they're going for 4th down here. Timeout will be
timeout.
So now
maybe they'll think about it. It's a 31-yard field goal that they're passing up there.
Yep.
But not a surprise. I mean, when you have
yeah, you can see if you look at the coach's windbreakers, how the wind is really kind of whipping there in Salisbury.
Here's RPI.
Yep. Nice little
4:45
stop there.
To go here in the first quarter. Ball at the 32-yard line for RPI. 4th and 2. RPI is going for it. St. Lawrence went for it on 4th down on their side. RPI is going for it on the other side. Pass that's complete to Choa,
nice
and Choa's got a first down.
It's kind of a surprise that RPI went for it, Frank, because they have one of the better kickers in the region.
One of our major prizes, $1,000 in cash, use of a Siegel Stadium suite for a game next year, an iPad Mini, a dining service.
It looks like the Wolverines are going to go on 4th down.
Prize pack. You download the app in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, whichever device you have. Burrows now with Lee in the
Going
back.
4th and 4. This is a risk here for Wesley in the Route 13 showdown.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping for an offside penalty to get that automatic first down and get somebody to jump, but nobody does. And
yeah, flag.
Yeah, that could be pass interference.
It's going to be. Ball was in the air.
Yeah. 35 is not looking happy about that one. He thought he. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be DPI on number 35 there. Lucky break for the Wolverines.
Yeah.
That is a touchdown to Tommy Avery. Engineers lead 6-0.
Nice route by Avery. Well thrown by Marinopolis. Good job by the offensive line. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. RPI goes up 6. And we want to remind you, you're listening to Rensselaer Football.
And it was pass interference, I was trying to say, against the defense in the Wesley game. In the meantime, you see Tommy Avery's touchdown there for Marinopolis. And it'll try to make it 7-0. We'll get back to the Wesley game in a moment where it's going to be first down, it looks like, at around the 13-yard line. Remember, they had it at the 14-yard line. It was a 1-yard penalty, but more importantly, the first down. The extra point looks good. It is. Back to Wesley and Salisbury.
Lee stuck in the backfield again, and if there's one thing for sure in this game, the Seagull defensive line has stopped this running game straight up between the tackles. He'll be down at the 14-yard line.
We knew that coming in. The defensive line of Salisbury was one of the toughest, if not the toughest, in the NJAC. They haven't allowed, more than 50, 100 rushing yards, and I can't even remember how long, but the runs up the middle aren't going to work today for the Wolverines. That's why they see more of the extended passing game early into this one.
Per rush, they're allowing 0.7 yards per carry entering today.
Another quick update, Frank. It looks like MIT is on the board.
Down at the 9-yard line. So again, similar situation as before. It'll be about a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 out onto the field.
They scored a 58-yard touchdown.
Gertler the punt.
All right, back up in Bangor, Maine. We got the Eagles looking to add on to that 7-0 again. If they win today's game, and they are probably pretty heavily favored over Gallaudet today, so if they punch in another score on this drive, Frank, that could be the beginning of the end. Why don't we hop over to Salisbury, where it looks like Wesley's gonna line up for a field goal here, Frank. It's like teams are taking the points where they can get them. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like this.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, he could go all the way. Wow. That was like an 80-yard run there?
I think it was.
Maybe John Smith came back for an extra year of eligibility, Frank. That was a pretty impressive run.
Here it is, the replay of it. Yeah, all the way from what, about the, I want to say like the 10-yard line there.
Yeah.
Nice job there. Wow. In the meantime,
I'll give him credit on that line drive.
field goal was missed by Wesley, and it is Salisbury's ball.
Yeah, let's see if I can get you the name of that Husson player.
Pitch out by Nowitzki, but instead it'll be Gleason that gets covered up in the backfield. He'll have a loss of 1. And they'll be at the 19, 2nd and 11 coming.
Might have been Brian Cedino on that run.
Wasn't the worst strategy you could have used. Certainly when you have the swirling winds that we do here on the eastern shore of Maryland, you want to keep the ball as low as you can, and did just that, just unfortunately off to the left quite a bit.
And of course, when it's going that fast, any hit off the upright's not going to go your way. It's going to bounce right off as the handoff up the middle, but Salisbury still can't get anything going. On second thought, Kadarius Campbell running free, and he'll get a first down out to the 30.
That's what the triple option will do to you.
At the end of the play.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's going to come back. Looks like we may have a holding.
Looks like this one's coming back.
This thing bounced out there. Someone getting caught up, maybe.
That touchdown was East Lorio, 90-yard touchdown run for Husson.
Offense number 19. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Referee sounds a little winded there.
Offenses block below the waist on that call, and that'll bring things way back for Salisbury. We'll have to reevaluate things here.
And Loriello with a 90-yard run. We were right. It was about 90 yards on that run officially.
It's not a traditional offense where you're running between the tackles. You're running, 36 powers, sweeps, jets, and things like that. It's more improvisation with the pitches and the handoffs and the reads.
So 1st and 19. Now for the Seagulls. Nowitzki will keep it. He thought he had a hole, but it closes up quickly. He does get a few yards back on the play, out to the 16.
All right.
Already in deep yardage territory. The threat to pass could be Nowitzki. We'll see if Coach Wood
looks like
Wesley's really selling out for the run, so a pass could sort of open up the field for him.
That's one thing I'm surprised we haven't seen yet, Jack, is that there's so much talk on this rushing offense and no thought of the pass. They could have came out right in this game and just aired it out, but they haven't.
Looks like that's going to get something going on offense here. They're already down 14-0, barely just 6 minutes into this one. The Bison need to something going, but boy, wow, they just the Eagles defense just blew up that play.
With Frostburg State.
How about that? Little Regions Cup battle coming up on his plate next week, but getting in here.
Yeah, this is where I think Salisbury is going to be a pretty dangerous for this Wesley defense. They started to find some holes and breaking some runs here right before the end of the first quarter. Here's one coming up.
Trouble to start the season, but really hitting his stride in the last few weeks. Special teams and with this offense. Nowitzki, the keeper again.
Yep. That's going to help get down to about the 20 or so yard line the first quarter. Pass each down, and we've got a ball game in Troy.
St. Lawrence going for 2.
Why not?
Well,
if you kick it, I guess. And that's no good. Oh, wait.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
No, they got it. Catch. Reminiscent of those Mitchell tight ends past couple of years. Kind of surprised.
One-handed.
The team. Interesting. Right. Look at this replay is on loop.
It is.
Yeah. Looks like Salisbury are at the line, it looks like.
Okay, JB, in the meantime here, we're losing that, but we're going to go to another game. You still with me there?
Oh, yeah.
And actually, let's go back to RPI for a second here.
Third and goal at that point.
Big play here.
To the touchdown.
Third and goal at the 4.
Oh, yeah. Apparently we need to reload some of this stuff, including our Salisbury feed here.
Yeah, right now the Seagulls are at the 5-yard line, knocking on the door here. Still no score in that game. Just about a minute into the second quarter.
Handoff right up the middle goes Mobor,
Yep.
and he's going to have the first down and a bit more. First and goal coming from the 5 for Salisbury.
Nice tough run by Mo.
And by the way, end of one quarter now in Troy. It's 8-7 officially.
The ball safe on the inside. Sometimes those pitches can get a little scary depending on where they go, and the wind continuing to be a factor even in that as well.
Carlisle and Scott out there wide for the Seagulls. They'll keep it on the ground with Campbell, who's upended. Actually, no, it's Nowitzki.
No,
Oh, me.
Nowitzki held on to it.
End zone, keeping the ball once again, and he has another rushing touchdown this season.
Another good play by the freshman. He's had quite a rookie season, Frank. You talked to him on the show last weekend. Not a big guy, but he makes some big plays.
All day we've seen Nowitzki take
That's
the
for
ball
sure.
outside, and there's only one defender there. Obviously, you can't do that against the option. Wesley usually very good at it. That was the one time where they crashed the middle, expecting the superback to take it. Nowitzki kept it. Great play by the sophomore.
Nice read right there.
And no good. The story continues here today with that wind on the sidelines. It's 6-0 the beginning.
Maybe that's why St. Lawrence didn't go for the the extra point, Frank.
It's possible.
The wind that keeps it in all these games is a factor.
Everyone here up in the booth. slides out, doesn't need the pitch man there, takes it himself. Gives the Gulls the 6-0 lead to start this second quarter.
Nowitzki had his third 100-plus yard rushing game at Rowan last week, 4th in the NJAC in rushing, and now, of course, getting his 7th touchdown of the season. He's been fantastic overall, and we talked about it, Jack, entering this game, what it would be like for the sophomore in this tough rivalry game to handle himself, and he was great on that drive.
Absolutely, and he told us yesterday at practice that it was really nice for him to go home last week and play at Rowan and do exceptionally well. Those road games, even Coach Wood likes him as well, but getting more comfortable in that starting quarterback role for Nowitzki has been huge for him to get the running game going, and we'll see if they stretch out the pass at all, but so far they haven't really needed it.
Oh boy, Frank. I know we were having some problems with it earlier. Western New England has scored 17 unanswered points in the first quarter. I know the feed wasn't coming through that easily early.
Forward, and since we don't have the replay view, I don't think we can check. I don't think we can check that out.
All Golden Bears so far in that one.
Was in on the initial hit.
That is exactly what Endicott needed. If they could have.
Even if Endicott's arguing that if he catches that, it should be sacked back for a loss as opposed to a pass. At the very least, we know it's going to be Western ball.
There's some confusion here with the officiating. Definitely not the start that the Gulls wanted to have, but certainly plenty of time left in this one. It's this quarter. Meanwhile, also in the CCC, Salve is up 14-0 with still 4 minutes left in the first quarter. So Salve making a case to hang in there and still be part of the discussion. But if England keeps rolling like this, Frank, it's going to be next week's game is going to be more for bragging rights or maybe a New England bowl bid than anything.
Lost it down, 2nd and 10. They finally got some pressure. 53 right up the gut. Had a chance at him, hit him good. The quarterback was just a little bit too quick on the release as he was able to find his center.
Swing pass seems pretty good today for the Golden Bears, Frank.
We're entering the Salisbury game, so we'll be going back there in a little bit.
Yeah. Another update, we got Merchant Marine up 10-7, just the start of the second quarter down in D.C.
Endicott really needs this right now, down 17-0.
And
really haven't had a chance to put their imprint on this game with their offense. There's been so many.
3-0 Hobart in the start quarter there. So the Statesman defense is playing better than they have in prior weeks, especially against a tough Ithaca squad.
The stadium that's been rocking the past hour now, really silent now. The Seagulls up 6-0 here on SGSN. As we get an update here and check on what's going on, we'll throw it to a brief break here on SGSN.
I need to see this. This does not
Coverage here, Salisbury up by 6.
not look good.
Running the other way for 6.
Well, even though we've had some kind of a glitchy feed with the Endicott game today, we one of the things that's been a constant, Frank, is that it seems like the Golden Bears are always on offense and the Gulls are always on defense. So tough first quarter so far for Endicott. Hopefully they can make some plays and get the defense off the field and see if Joe Kowalski and company can get the offense going. That's Rivera there on the blitz, number 53. He's one of their top players.
Did you see that? That was 53 again. Rivera is trying to jump the snap count. He hit it twice, but unfortunately he was rolling out to the left and the speedy Coleman was a little too fast. But if he stayed in the pocket, man, he was in trouble. Rivera was coming right up the middle, and nobody was blocking him.
RPI scores in the meantime here, just so to keep you updated.
Still 7-0 Stevenson over. 7-3 Stevenson down at Lyco.
This will not be the last play of the game. We'll have a quarter, but.
Four receivers set, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Off in the backfield for Coleman. And
timeout.
Calls timeout with 30.6 seconds. Penalty. I don't know that took the penalty.
Wow.
So that'll drop it back.
Thanks, Wally, a.k.a. Greg Thomas, gave us a little shout-out on Twitter. Appreciate you sticking with us. All right, this is a big third down for this Endicott defense. They really need to get Allen and company off the field and get the ball back to their offense if they're going to have any to come back in this one, I think. They're sending everybody. Wow, look how Coleman's fast. Oh, but there's a fumble. Looks like they held him to 4th down. I don't know if he made the turn here.
And that's the bounce Endicott gets right out of bounds. If it could have just stayed on the end line, there's no other West New England player anywhere near there. There's 3 other goals. That's a touchdown. Unfortunately, he does fumble the ball out of bounds.
And finally, the looks like a
those last two
punt is coming up. So big stop for Endicott. So RPI scored, kind of keeping in the tradition of Andrew Franks and Christian Kapp. This young man, Christian, has really been a real solid kicker for the Engineers this season. Franks won a few special team awards through the Liberty League, and pretty good boot right there.
Indeed.
Now, this RPI team is interesting. I think part of the reason why folks have remained sort of skeptical over them, in spite of the fact they keep winning ball games and they remain highly ranked. I think in 15 in the most recent D3Football.com poll, they're ranked 3rd in the East as far as the playoff rankings goes. That they just, they don't really blow you away with explosive plays. They just kind of really grind it out, and both offensively and defensively, and keep things close, but they always seem to be in control of the teams that they're playing. But got to give credit to St. Lawrence. They even though they're supposedly the heavy underdog, they certainly are not. They're not backing down.
It looks like this is Hobart punting, if I'm not incorrect.
That's right. That's the Boz. The Statesmen are decked out in their all orange uniforms for senior day. Small senior class, only about 10 guys are graduating. So even though Hobart hasn't had the best season, they're currently at 4-3 on the year, hoping to improve to 5-3.
That is what they face right now. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9.
There we go. Big 3rd down right here coming up for RPI.
At their own 30-yard line. 5 wide receiver formation. Change at quarterback. Ruthman is in there right now at quarterback. He makes a completion, and that'll be a 1st down for St. Lawrence.
Wow, that's a big 1st down pickup. Yeah, Ruthman, Frank, was actually the original starter for the Saints to open up the season, and Brochette came on, and perhaps Ruthman was injured, but they're definitely doing a dual quarterback thing there up in Canton. Yeah, I just noticed this on my other screen. Unfortunately, the stretcher is out for this young man. And it's hate to see this.
Killing us today so far.
1st and 10, St. Lawrence at their own 47. 11:35 to go, 1st half. RPI leads 14-8 on the option
nice
play,
pitch.
and St. Lawrence will cross the 50 and get it down to the 48-yard line.
Looks like Endicott's starting to move the ball a little bit here, Frank. They're on the western New England side of the field, and with a 1st down about the 37-yard line. Hudson still in control, kind of how we expected. Not sure who Brandon was trying to get the ball to on that last play, but this third down coming up, they'll need to convert. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a punting situation.
Well, not quite a first down there.
Close, but
was in the end zone. That one a little bit better, although only 3 yards better than if it had been in the end zone. So Hobart is doing pretty well in this game.
over. Yeah, it looks like the Endicott Seagulls finally got on the board, but I think their 2-point attempt came up short. Looks pretty. Looks a little like kind of foggy up there and on the ocean up in Mass.
It happens.
Definitely a defensive battle between Hobart and Ithaca. Neither team with over 100 yards, well, just barely early on in this one. But here we go. Looks like that's interesting formation by the Seagulls on the kickoff. Okay. Can't say I've seen that one before, Frank. That was an interesting sort of, they sort of acted like they were going to fake onside kick it and then got back into formation. All right, here we go. The quad. Well, here we can see Marianopolis making a nice first down run there. Hobart's trying to get something going on offense. Points are going to be hard to come by for the Statesmen in this one, leading 3-0 early on. It looks like the Eagles are now up 20 zip after another touchdown with still over 14 minutes in the second quarter left. I think, Frank, we can pretty much say the Eagles have punched their ticket to the playoffs in this one.
You keep saying that, I'll say that for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is not something you want to see for sure.
No. It'll be interesting to see how these teams respond to number one, if you're a Salisbury player, losing one of your teammates to injury for the game, he's still being carefully attended to, and this is a long break going on there, and they're now carrying him onto the stretcher. There's one of the coaches is doing a couple of small, applause. I think the players hopefully going to be all right, but they're just taking the necessary precautions. Speaking of injuries, it looks like there's a Hobart player down, one of the Statesman offensive linemen, which is not good. They're a little bit thin there.
Let's try to get over there for you.
That's number 55. Yeah. Normally, I would know these guys off the top of my head, Frank, but this Statesman team has so many young guys on it. It's hard to keep track these days. That player who's really going off the field is Dylan Carey. He's one of the offensive guards for the Statesmen. He's a sophomore out of Ashburn, Virginia. So it looks like Micah Holloway is in the game at tackle. They're probably going to shuffle the line a little bit. They moved Mercer Ludney, who's usually the left guard, over to right guard, and it looks like it might even be John Devaney, the tackle's moved to left guard now. Wait, no. Dalton Kent from Maysville, Kentucky is in at guard now for the Statesmen. So number 75 is from the Bluegrass State. Looks like
I'm
actions.
I'm going to take your word for
it. Yeah. Actions resumed back in the Wesley game, it looks like. And wow, who's this running down the field for RPI? That's a huge gain there inside this like 7-yard line there. Nice, some nice catch, and that's probably Ackerman. He's one of RPI's top receiving weapons. A long bomb right there, boy. Really found a gap in the Saints secondary there and capitalized on a long gain. And number 86 is actually Peter Lombardi, a running back, a freshman out of Tabor Academy. So that's how RPI can get you sometimes, Frank. They have the running backs are really sort of slot receivers that they use in Coach Acernia's offense to spread things out and get matchup problems with linebackers kind of trying to cover them early on, and then they sneak one behind you. Just like that. All right. So Hobart's looks like this is going to be a pretty big third down for them. Just took a timeout with 6:08 left in the quarter there. Really the half. Oh, okay, a little end around there. Attempt there by. Looks like that's Catalano got stuffed, so.
Both that sweep and the receiver screen have not been working much for Hobart.
Well, that didn't work at all for Hobart. That's their end, I think, for once.
Yeah, no, that's the Hobart's video feed has cut out on occasion, so maybe we should pull up the Wesley game because they're back in action there. They're about to punt back to Salisbury. So
starting to get our groove now. We basically, what you don't know behind the scenes is we've ditched some hardware and gone to an old school methodology here. We're not sure why we were having issues earlier, but we've got streams working now. And boy, with the internet connection I have, we better have streams working here as punt comes here. Boy, that was a line drive, and Salisbury has the ball back. Yep. Salisbury's up 6-0.
Get a unsportsmanlike penalty there. Here's a little bit of a surprise score for you, Frank. Lyco 10, Stevenson 7 with 11:40 to go in the second quarter. The
we'll check on that one then in a little bit.
Yeah, they're battling. Just had a short touchdown from Keith Kowski to give them the lead in that game. Stevenson's in the running for one of those, MAC Centennial Bowl games, sitting pretty well in second place right now in the conference. So Lyco trying to maybe play spoiler a little bit. Looks like Christian hit a field goal for RPI, so the Engineers are kicking off again, up 17-8.
And the Bison get a safety, it looks like, in their game.
Huh. Hey, well, got to take your points where you can get them, I guess. But if they can get some back-to-back scores and make this a game, that would be good news for the Gallaudet faithful.
Here's a handoff and escaping up across the line of scrimmage, tackle there for Gianni Brian Lopez. And a nice gain here for Drexel Mosby of about 7.
Yeah, Frank, you got to see Lyco in person. You know, what was your take on those guys when you watched that game against FDU a few weeks back?
Elijah Shemery is definitely a young, up-and-coming quarterback. That's what I got from that game back when. We're going to have a little trouble, it looks like, on this feed. I don't think it's us, actually. I think it may be their end on this one. So we're going to go to a WNE Endicott feed. And at this point, 4th and 18 coming up for Western New England. So that 17-0 spurt that you saw, JB, is sort of evaporating now.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's interesting. Well, that's 1st and 10. So I was going to say, like, what, they're going for it on 4th and 18. What the heck? But no, that's a 1st and 10. It
must have been a punt. Endicott must have punted on 4th and 18, and they just didn't update their score on that. Apologies for that, folks.
Once again, though, as I said before, Frank, not to be a broken record, but it does seem like every time we check in on this game, you see Endicott on defense, and so that's going to, the time of possession seems really weighted heavily towards the Bears. Oh,
Stevenson with a touchdown.
Scored.
67-yard touchdown pass. Stevenson leads 13-10, and now the extra point from kicker Kevin Sheehan. The snap very low. They dropped it. Sheehan picks it up.
Whoops. What are we?
That ain't gonna work.
Am I having a little deja vu, Frank? It feels like last year when we watched this, we saw a lot of missed extra points too.
Agreed there.
I mean, that's like the 3rd or 4th one that we've seen in these games in the first not even hour of this broadcast. There's been like 4 or 5 missed extra points. The only one who got one is St. Lawrence, and they went for 2. Now, if anyone down in Kings Point was worried that the Mariners were kind of having a slow start against Catholic, they are now up 24-7 in that game, looking to hang on to that top 10 East Region ranking that they got. And it looks like, Frank, if you can jump to the Salisbury game, a big play is just coming up here.
Well, we're there. So,
yeah, one of the things we've talked about, everyone says it's all about the offense for these triple option teams. Well, Woody Shaw is a pretty good defensive coach, and let's watch what happens right here.
Wow.
Center field. Big interception by the safety there. Bounces off. He's to the 40-yard line of the Wolverines, and that's a huge momentum shifter there for the Seagulls. And, yeah, they look pretty fired up to me, Frank. Right in front of the home stands, and this is big for Salisbury. They have really struggled with Wesley over the years. I think they've only beaten them once in the last 13 seasons. So to get a win today over the Wolverines would be huge for them, and maybe even bump them up a notch or two in that East Region playoff ranking.
Did we get Merchant Marines, I guess it's Catholics, authority? Because I don't even have it on my list for some reason. Well, let me go get the link for that thing. I'm just noticing that as you said it. It wasn't even on our list.
I think we were maybe we're just a little overwhelmed by the response, because initially we thought it would be 10 games and then it was 16, and now it's up to like 18 games where I think we actually have access to, and one of those MIT is up 13-0 on Norwich. And yeah, the Mariners and the Catholic said give it a go, and here it's like there's going to be, unfortunately, another banged-up player at the end of this from the Wesley game. So one of their linebackers or linemen, I think, is that game's going to go to a timeout.
I think the Hobart feed is back live again.
Okay.
Also, Conley's been their big play guy this year, averaging 19 yards per catch, second leading receiver.
Still only 3-0 in this one. Definitely the defenses are playing tough. The offense for both teams really not doing much so far in this one.
Or actually, it's Hefner on this third down and long. They will hand off to Hefner running right, so they play it the safe way out across the 35, well short of the first down, and Hobart will punt. I guess they were just concerned about Bombers take a timeout now to preserve some time, so they'll get the ball coming up on the punt.
Yeah, so far, Frank, only 29 rushing yards for Ithaca in this game, only 65 receiving, so it's kind of a slow going for the Bombers offense. Coach Swanstrom with a timeout, but I mean, interestingly enough, I mean, Wahid Nabi is 11-19 in the game. He's making some completions, but his longest pass is only 16 yards. He's been sacked once, and the Hobart defense doing a nice job bottling up Kendall Anderson, the running back. He's only gained 28 yards on 8 carries.
They would be 4-0, and Hobart would have no way of catching them because the best they could do would be tied with them. And I don't believe there are any multi-one loss scenarios.
Don't mind the noises in the background here, folks. We are ensuring that we keep this feed for you right now.
Yeah, and don't mind Ted Baker. He should be talking more about the New York State Bowl implications of this game than Hobart's chances of making the NCAA playoffs. Those are pretty much gone out the window with the loss to RPI. But
it's going to bounce down inside the 30, get a bit of a roll. That stayed in bounds for a long
time. Delasanti for Hobart's had a really nice season punting the ball. They were a little worried after the graduation of Rio Schmidt, who is one of the special teams players of the year for the Liberty League. But Delasanti, who is a transfer, I think, from UNH at wide receiver, has played at Hobart for a couple seasons now, has stepped in and done a pretty good job kicking the ball. He's averaging, I think, over 36 yards per punt, and that was a long one, too. Yeah, here we go. Coach Toop. Whoa, 31-7.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 10-7 a little while ago, Frank, and so what's that? 21 points that they've just cranked off in the time we've been trying to pull this game up. But that's the Mariners for you. They can score in bunches, and so they're looking good to improve to 7-1 and set up a potentially huge game against the Coast Guard next weekend. To jump over to the Western New England game, Frank, it looks like our the Golden Bears either just scored or going for it on fourth down. I'm not sure. That looks like a touchdown celebration to me. Just haven't updated the scoreboard there.
That would be the first time they fooled us in this game so far, but I think you're right. There it is, 23-6 with the extra point forthcoming.
Yep, and there's a big play over. And let's jump to Salisbury. It looks like they're knocking on the door once again here. They'll pitch, and he's gonna reaching for the end zone, but not quite make it, and maybe a little slow getting up there. Might have banged up his shoulder a little bit on the way he landed down on the turf. Did not look good. And
let's take a look at that one again in a second here.
The trainers are coming out. Could have been a shoulder dislocation the way he landed. They're tending to him now. So, another game that just sort of took off while we were looking at a few other ones, Frank, is that Salve is up 24-7. So they're doing their thing. Yeah, there's the – it's
let's
probably
slow that down for a second. Yep. Let's go back to the right part.
He kind of awkwardly landed on his left shoulder.
Yeah. And he's still down there in real-time action here.
Yep.
Let's go back to quad box here. We'll include this.
So it looks like we got a timeout from St. Lawrence with 1:06 left in the first half.
Are they going to do the same thing we did, apparently?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, seriously. It was 21-0, now 21-2 for a while. And this is them with the ball right now, I believe, is it not?
Yep. Yes, it is. A little bit long there on the pass, so.
Love their scoreboard, but there's no down and distance. That's the only problem here, and it looks like they're going to be forced to do a kick of some sort. Or no, there was a fourth down play.
That was they went for it on fourth down and did not convert. So Eagles back on the attack. Salisbury looks like they're getting back to line up again, Frank. The players off the field, and Salisbury is looking to punch it in for another touchdown here. And I think they got it.
Oh, hold on a second. Don't give everything away, JB. I mean, just tell us to go to the game.
Yeah, I guess we want to keep people engaged if we can, right?
And here is that play, and it is good. So it's 12-0. Now, don't tell us if they go for 1 or 2 and ruin that on us.
Yeah, we just had a comment on the from Ryan Graves asking us if we're going to show the Kane Frostburg game. Yep, that will be coming up around the 1 o'clock hour, which is, oh yeah, it's already 1 o'clock, right? Holy cow, that went by fast. So we have a
we'll join that a little bit more when we get some half times coming up here. Let's kind of finish out the first halves as we can, but if anything develops in that game, we'll try to get out to it. In the meantime, the extra point was good. And let's go back to the Husson game for a second here, see if they can kind of distance themselves before halftime. And distance themselves, they just did.
Yeah, that's another nice touchdown run.
Is that Loriello again?
I think that actually might have been. I want to say it looked like 15, which is Brandon's number, but I don't think that was the quarterback who just made that run. That was. Let's get an update here on who just made that run. Loriello has 2 touchdowns so far, so it's possible this could have been a hat trick, but.
Well, RPI up 17 to 8 right now. And they're coming to the end of their first half. Looks that way.
I think that touchdown for Husson was by number 13, Kyle Gadet, a senior out of Guilford, New Hampshire.
Well, here's Endicott. Endicott needs to do something here before halftime in their game. Not exactly sure where the clock is, as they don't have it imposed on the screen.
Yeah, it seems like the Golden Bears defense is just giving the Gauls a tough go of it. They're just not really able to sustain drives. And here, the Golden Bears are just keep marching along.
But
I think you should stay on this one for a second, Frank.
I'm playing on it. Looks like Al Coleman may air this one. Oh,
that could have been an interception.
In the meantime, RPI does go to halftime, so we'll pay more attention to that one now when they get back. It's 17-8 in favor of RPI.
Yeah, another game at the half is MIT up 13-0 at Norwich.
Simoni's a pretty good defender. Simoni's been holding his own out there.
What's the Springfield game looking like?
Springfield game.
That's what he said.
Springfield's in an interesting situation because they are probably having will have an option to play in the New England Bowl, but they've also filed for the ECACs. I guess in theory they could end up with some kind of tiebreaker scenario depending on how the last couple of weeks go here. But for the most part, they are up 28-0, Frank, with about 14 seconds before the end of the first half. Josh Thomas with 2 touchdown runs, along with Hunter Belzo and Steve Comey, who hauled in a 27-yard pass from Belzo. So pretty much all Springfield in that one. Not even close. Springfield has 207 yards. Maine Maritime has 1.
Well, as we come into the game, Belzo throws an interception to Maine Maritime.
12 total yards for the Maine Maritime offense.
12 yards for their offense.
Oh, man.
And I believe that puts them to halftime as well.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay, and so let's try to get back to the Salisbury game. In the meantime, there is a game that concerns some folks in the NUMEC schools, and let's see if we can't get that one to appear as well. We're on a roll now. Let's just go for Baroque on these things.
Yeah. Finding I don't know if it says on my end or if it's the Kane video is not quite up and running yet. Yeah, I'm just giving a quick little check here behind the scenes. Oh yeah, it's already 7-0 over there. It looks like Frostburg just scored.
Do you have a score in Thomas More Lake Erie? I mean, I can show you what I'm seeing right now, but you can see that it's missing some information. Well, it looks like it's 20-0 in favor of Thomas More, if I'm reading that scoreboard correctly.
Yeah. See if you can jump back to the Endicott game, Frank.
Will do.
I think something may or may not have just happened.
Is that the way you're hedging now?
Honestly, I don't think his knee was down. I think they ripped it out as soon as he was coming down to the ground.
A little conference on the field here to see who came up with that one.
They're saying he was down, and West New England is upset.
Western New England not a fan of that call, but honestly, the Seagulls need a break here. They're right now it's 27-0, Frank. Thomas More pretty much dominating Lake Erie with about a minute to go before halftime. So it's looking like Thomas More will jump to 7-2. They are still in the Pool B discussion along with the Mariners. Looking like they're going to improve to 7-1. So it's basically going to come down to week 11 with those two teams to see who gets that Pool B bid.
Well, then let's begin to peek in on our 1 o'clock games here. And I'm going to start by trying to call up that Kane game as you were trying to do yourself a moment ago. That said, we still have 48 seconds in the half here in this Gallaudet-Husson game. Turn down that volume a little bit for you folks. I'm blowing my ear out on that.
Yeah.
And you can see Frostburg with a very 8-bit graphic scoreboard from Kane.
Yeah, it's like Tecmo Bowl out there. It's great.
Frostburg leads 7-0. My goodness, never seen that before.
Yeah.
Sun seems to be coming out there as we speak, as we wait for the first Kane play here.
It's a big difference from last night's game in New Jersey that we watched a little bit of with FDU Florham winning 21-17 late in a downpour. I mean, it was just horrible weather in that game, but FDU tying their school record for wins in a season with 6. They can go for 7 next week. So this should be 1st and 10 for Salisbury after a punt from the Wolverines. Actually, no, it looks like it's 2nd down and about 6 coming up.
Plays a couple games here. Upper left is Frostburg. Upper right, Western New England Endicott. Lower left is Salisbury Wesley, and lower right is the end of the first half for Gallaudet versus Husson. For those that are watching that don't know the story in all its entirety, Gallaudet, School for the Deaf, their football players basically have a drum beat that they utilize to feel when the snap is supposed to be coming ultimately. And, I mean, it's just an amazing story when you think about it. They had that undefeated season a few years back there, got some CBS Evening News attention. Lost in the playoff game, but I mean, there's a there's a punt actually. Can't remember, needs to widen out for those. But in the meantime, Salisbury going into halftime with Wesley down. Wesley is down 13-0 here in the Route 13 showdown. On top, Endicott trying to cross midfield here toward the end of the first half, and in the upper left again, Frostburg. Look, Kane is gaining some yards here on them. But it's 3rd and 6. Let's see what happens here as it's an important play coming up.
Here's an interesting score update, Frank. WPI is trailing the Coast Guard 9-3 at the half.
They have identical win-loss records, don't forget.
Takes it out of bounds.
Let's see if we can't call that up. Is it at halftime or is it not?
That game went to the half about 10 minutes ago, so they'll be probably starting up in the next 5, so I think we can hold off on that one. Yeah, there's a...
But other than that, I'm sure we'll go back to the drawing board and see what happens, but we're doing what we're supposed to do right now. Don't give up big plays. That's the message that's going to be mentioned at halftime.
Quickly, any update you can give us on Andrew Britt?
He was moving, number one, so that was a good thing. He was joking and laughing on the field. His father thought he was pretty good, too. I think it's a precautionary type thing. They're going to take him to the hospital.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
That's good news about the Salisbury player, Andrew Britt, who we saw was taken off on a stretcher. Sounds like he's in good spirits and he'll be okay, so that's great.
Great position.
Back to this Kane Frostburg game.
Going for it. It's 1st down. I thought they were going for it on 4th and 8. Like, that's pretty bold, but
well, you know, those 8-bit graphics, they slowly update too.
Yeah, exactly. Guess we're not the only ones that are old school on this Saturday, Frank.
Okay, JB, let's pick a game we haven't looked at yet that you think we should go to. You mentioned the WPI Coast Guard game, and did you say we're at halftime
one game I think we should. The one game I think we should probably poke our head in on, Frank, might be Rowan at Montclair State.
In a moment we will. Oh,
close call there.
was number 38.
Connor Cox had a great season for Frostburg. He's throwing the ball well. Frostburg currently second in the regional rankings, and probably going to stay there if they can keep this up.
Let's go to the end of the first half, actually, before anything else here.
Got his hand on the ball, but
Good
Under
40 seconds to go here.
Just hold on to that ball, knowing if he fumbles there,
Looks
Endicott's
like,
a chance to at least put a field goal up.
Endicott's going to just try to let the time run down.
They do not. That is why they're not calling.
Well, that's probably why they just answer that question. There's no more timeouts for the goal, so they can't stop the clock. So, yeah, tough first half for the Gulls. They're going to need to make some adjustments here because so far it's pretty much been all Golden Bears up 24-6. And looks like that's another cough up the gut, and that'll do it for the first half. So Golden Bears looking like they're in good shape to potentially clinch the CCC if they can, basically keep this up for the next 30 minutes.
Oh, that's it, huh? You make it sound so easy.
That's it.
Interesting.
let's play this safe. Puck stops. Got turnover on downs.
How about we, here we go. Yeah. You've been there.
A couple times.
Montclair State U. Keep pounding, as they like to say. Sam Mills.
Hey, one note to you though. In the meantime,
35. Wow. Yeah, I had a feeling that Huston might run away with this one. It's,
and let's get an HD picture on this game. How's that for you?
there you go. Looks nice.
I want to see that one again. That seemed pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Here's a replay. Dropped the ball. Nice pitch back there. And I mean, look, to gain yardage in a play where they basically had you already consumed because of the position there. Nice job by Birch. Wow.
Close.
He lost it. Couldn't bring it in. Otherwise, it would have been a first down. And Kowalczyk has made some nice catches this season.
Speaking of teams that are kind of on the bubble for the playoffs, Frank, maybe we should check in on MIT Norwich as they've started back up, I think, in the third quarter there.
Hold that thought. Here's the last play of the half for Huston and Gallaudet. Gallaudet had a chance there to score, but it is halftime there now. And you can hear it's sack there. Got some cheerleaders for you to look at while we try to find the game that's actively going on here.
Yeah, right. It is senior day for a lot of teams across the country, and so you see a lot of halftime ceremonies.
Is it a touchdown? It is! Touchdown!
Oh!
Wow! 30-yard reception. It came out wobbly. A duck and reeled in. Was it Osigby?
Was that a 13-point touchdown, Frank?
No, they scored. It was 7-0 already.
Okay, yeah, I was like, wait a minute. How did it go from? That's right, it was 7-zip when we tuned in initially. So Montclair jumping out to a 2-score lead pretty early on. I would think that the Red Hawks have got to be a little fired up that they're kind of being overlooked in the playoff discussion. I mean, 2 losses is 2 losses. Although interestingly enough, I mean, if Hobart can hang on to this slim lead and beat Ithaca, then that'll take them off the board, and you'd have to expect that the Red Hawks would jump into the top 10. All right, back in back in New Jersey. We got
Nice
Frostburg.
defensive
That's
stop
not going anywhere.
from the defensive front of the Cougars.
Does this kind of surprise you a little bit, Frank? Because
Ran right.
I mean, Frostburg has rolled over a bunch of teams, and Kane's really struggled this season, at least offensively. I know their defense.
The first half issues. Delane Fitzgerald talked to me about it after that Montclair game, and here it is again. They just can't seem to get out of the opponent's rearview mirrors for some reason right away. But maybe the changes here with Connor Cox back to throw, and now being flushed out on 2nd and 9. He will just be short of the first down. It looks like out of bounds, about actually 4 yards short there. It'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up. Call it 4, and look, if they don't convert this, they have a decision to make right at midfield, and I would think they'd punt if they don't get it, but let's see what happens.
So the Bobcats will go empty, and here's the first down for the Bobcats. A quick throw, it's a short hitch route. Ryan Rowe. Ryan Rowe has made some plays here early today.
Looks like they got the first and still marching.
That first down will keep the Bobcats drive alive.
And I think that guy pacing along the sideline, Frank, is probably Coach Fitz.
Imagine
yelling at his guys to
run by Moran.
Get something going here.
We'll get about 2 yards there. It's a big guy there running the ball. 5'8", 215 pounds.
And we lost our feed.
There we go.
We could see part of it.
At least they got the score and the yardage on there, so that helps.
Oh, there we
go.
Hey.
Under a minute here left in the first.
And focus. There we go. Oops. Contrast. I love D3, man. It's just the best.
You're a great director from afar, too, I'll tell you.
Face a 3rd and 5.
And they're trying to get some fault. They're trying to show the wind, how much the wind is blowing to the flags at the top of the stadium.
That's what
you can actually see some of the towels hanging off of the players' pants. Oh, there we go. Nice little run there by Cox. Gets a first down.
Right before the end of the first quarter.
I believe that was Charles Barsala who picked it up for the Bantams. Oh no, it's Xavier Francis, excuse me.
This is for the NESCAC title to a certain degree. If Trinity wins, it's not solved completely. If Amherst wins, it's over, essentially. And looks like Trinity has the ball now. Yes, they do.
The Bants are in the white helmets and the blue jerseys, where it looks like the Mammoths. It's hard not to call them the Lord Jeffs, but that's just me. Are in the all white with the purple.
They're gonna go for knockout.
Yeah, this Seamus Lambert for Trinity has really come on strong. He's been playing great since they made the switch about mid-season. It's really seemed to have paid dividends for the Bantams.
Bantams in the hurry up. The handoff goes to Chaporis. Sneaks around the first man, but doesn't get by the second as he got walloped by Andrew Summer.
Chaporis is the prototypical workhorse running back. Seems like he has 30 to 40 carries a game and just grinds away the opposition. Honestly, Frank, I think Trinity might have ended up undefeated if they had Lambert in a QB back when they played that Williams game. I think that was when they were trying to figure out the quarterback issues, or maybe there was an injury or something. Because ever since Lambert's been playing quarterback for them, they've really looked like a different team.
Rudely brought down to the ground.
It looked like he pancaked the tackler, so I don't know how rude that was, but
Folks might not know that this score is at halftime 19-10. That is Stevenson over Lycoming right now. Nice scenic vista of a stadium view there, isn't it?
Yeah. And what is that? Would they have the Lycoming? Is that called a berm, Frank?
I guess it is.
Like a D3 word.
D3 word.
And he's going for a touchdown. That's a TD right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Coop is rocking.
Want to see that one again?
Yeah.
You asked for it. Here it comes. And boy, you give the offensive line credit here because they picked up what looked like a blitz coming through. And nice job there, Seamus Lambert and company. Back to live.
High snap, good hold, and the kick is good. Beautiful job by Brad Whitman, the backup quarterback for the Bantams, says that was not a good snap, but Whitman got it down, and the Bantams, they lead 7-0, set up by the block of Matt McCarthy.
I know we're not covering this one as part of the Blitzer, Frank, but just as a little shout out to your alma mater, Union just scored again to go up 14-0 on Rochester.
There you go.
Looks like the second half is underway at the Coast Guard, who leads WPI 9-3. Both teams are 5-3 in that one, and even though Coast Guard isn't really in the running for any sort of playoff consideration, they could, affect the playoffs next week against the Mariners. We'll see. Could also make a case for themselves for a New England or other type of bowl game.
Hey, JB.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
We'll get some more games up in a moment here. However, first, as we turn down the volume a little bit here, you'll see we've got our standings up. Let's have a review where things stand for folks that aren't really sure why we're doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I think my wife has asked me the same question earlier today. She's like, "What are you guys doing again?"
By the way, Frostburg now up 14-0, and Kane trying to go the other way there, incomplete. But the CCC, Western New England, Endicott, we know what's going on there. Essentially, Western New England has a big lead right now over Endicott, would win the conference outright if they win today. In the ECFC, Husson, big lead right now against Gallaudet. Yep, same issue there. We move on to the Empire 8. That game is at 2 o'clock. Brockport, Cortland. That's the only pair of teams that is up for anything in that conference. Moving along, Liberty League, RPI. They're leading 17-8 at halftime over St. Lawrence. If they win their conference. Moving on, MASCAC. That game tonight. WestCon at Framingham State. If Framingham State wins, I believe we have to technically wait out for another week. Actually, no. That would be over because Plymouth State is their next opponent. Is it not?
Well, I think at the end of the day, there would be a tiebreaker scenario where the point differential would give the title to Framingham because...
well, here it is. I'm sorry. I actually did more work than I thought I did today. There's the Week 11 game, actually, on this slide. It's Framingham State at Worcester State next week, so they would have to still technically, I think, Bridgewater... No, they would still have to win because WestCon could finish at 6 or 7-1 in that situation, and Framingham State could lose next week and finish at something at 2. So it's not a definitive game. WestCon would have to would win it outright if they win the game. Framingham State, we'd have to wait a week technically. MAC, yeah, go figure. We'll talk more about this later. We'll get to the Misericordia game in a little bit as well. MIT, Merchant Marine, Springfield, same issue. We'll talk more about it in a little bit as Thomas More is winning big right now against Lake Erie. And the NJAC won't be solved today, looks like, especially with Frostburg with a 14-0 lead over Kane, and you can see the Amherst Trinity game. Yeah.
Big interception by the Bobcats defense, so they're back on right here. Looks like that one was a little overthrown by Cox, but good opportunity for, where the ball is placed, at least, theoretically for them to come away with at least 3 more points and be up 17 to nothing, if not 21 to nothing, depending at the 23-yard line. Frank, do you know what's the story with the Frostburg place kicker? Is a 40-something yard field goal in their wheelhouse, or is this more of a short yardage kind of thing?
Answer yes, but I don't know with the wind situation today if we're going to see that. I remember Kane is 15 miles away from where I am right now in New York. It is a little bit windy out there. Our friend for D3Photography.com, Larry Ratloff, is actually here for the New York City Marathon. He's just come on in, and if we go back for a second here, we'll let Larry, Larry's speaking in. Larry, how windy is it outside?
It is. It's super windy out there. It's a Midwest guy who's used to nothing stopping wind. It's pretty bad. 15, 20 miles an hour. It's I wouldn't want to be running today in it.
Well, tomorrow you'll be running in something. It'll be probably better.
Yeah, they said 4 to 5 miles an hour, which is certainly a great day for running. So 45 degrees, it'll be almost perfect out there.
Not to cut off your pretty face, but in the meantime, Kane looks like they may have gotten the ball back here, actually, guys. And so they're going to be coming out 1st and 10, down 14 points, and they needed some real contrast resolutions on that camera. That's for damn sure. So let's see if we can't get the Misericordia game up here. Larry, thanks for that update. We appreciate it.
Well, knowing Coach Fitzgerald, this is the kind of thing that's just going to drive him crazy, because his team can perform better than that offensively, and to either fumble or give the ball away when you have a chance to really sort of put this team away 21 to nothing early in the second quarter. That's the kind of stuff that drives head coaches nuts. You got to credit Kane. Their defense is definitely playing tough so far today, but.
Hey, memo to those that think that Misericordia isn't for real this season and this quest to go 9-1. They are up. I know it's winless Albright, but it's 13-0 right now, Misericordia, and it looks like they're trying to go in for more. Is that not correct? They are in the white and blue, I believe, here. And
that's right. Yeah, Brady Williams there, quarterback, and they have a good complement of passing and running attack to move the ball. Receiver's a little slow to get up there, but looks like he's okay. They've kept winning games, and they've come back and won games in pretty epic fashion for a few weeks running there. Today, probably not going to be as challenged by Albright, who's having a bit of a down season, but they make enough plays. Looks like we're going to go to the end of the first quarter there, and they're going to flip fields with the ball on the 15-yard line with second and 5 coming up. So far so good for Misericordia. They just need to keep winning and hope that. I guess the fact they have that loss to the Merchant Marine really is kind of haunting them a little bit. Otherwise, they might be in that top 10 regional ranking. But so far, as long as Del Val keeps winning, and it seems like their best case scenario is to be the first seeded MAC team in that bowl series.
It looks like Kane is having trouble moving the ball right now. It says 3rd and 11. I don't know what to believe when we're looking at the screen on this game, though. And in the meantime, it is Trinity back with the ball. Or is it Trinity with the ball? Yeah, we're in the second quarter now, so actually this is Amherst with the ball. In the meantime, 3rd down and 16 is what it actually was. See, I shouldn't have believed it. And Kane will be forced to punt coming up here. I'm going to go bring Kane a new camera, I think. I'm just going to leave here, drive down there and come back, and I should be back in time for this the end of this broadcast here. But 4th down and 11 coming up. And Amherst. I'm trying. We have audio coming from one of these games. That's the Rowan game, I believe, actually.
Yeah. Sounds like something good's going on now.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment, actually.
Those guys are pretty fired up.
No kidding.
Looks like we're about 2 minutes away from Salisbury Wesley starting back up. Same deal with Western New England Endicott. That's a little more than 3.5 minutes before that halftime break is over. Nichols is behind 27-7 to Solvay. So Solvay's still taking care of business. There we got Rowan there. Oh, looks like it's a close call in the end zone. Looks like Montclair thought they had another touchdown play, but incomplete.
There we go. Don't need to see us, folks. Come on.
Yeah, give us the hook, yeah.
So Montclair up 14-0 on Rowan. Let's go quad. Looks like there's your wind. In case you want to see how windy it is in the Kane game, look at his shirt.
Yeah, we saw that in the Salisbury game too with some of the coaches, and it seems like it's just a windy day up on all parts of the East Coast.
Defense. Oh, wow. That Trinity game there, Amherst was looking to tie on that pass play. And that was third down. So we're at 4th down. There's a signal for from the head ref. So what are they going to do? I'm going to assume that it's windy in Connecticut as well, if it's windy here today.
Yeah, I guess I better call my mom, you know. The Merchant Marine, by the way, is just tacked on yet another score, so they're up big, 37-7. So they're winning, kind of running away.
Amherst is going to get the first down on that play. Let's stick with this for a second.
This would be big if they could answer with another score to keep this thing deadlocked.
Talk about athleticism from the senior running back out of Melrose, Massachusetts. Longest run of the day for Amherst. This is where Amherst offense is so dangerous.
This quarterback for Amherst, Ollie Eberth, is a dual threat. He can run and throw the ball, and it looks like that's a touchdown for the Mammoths. Yep. This game so far is we're living up to the hype, Frank. It's two teams that are pretty evenly matched going at it.
Indeed.
Looks like Misericordia tacked on a field goal, so they're up 16-0, and Albright's got the ball now. They're wearing the black uniforms and the red helmets.
Del Valle just scored 14 points in 15 seconds on a running back option pass for a touchdown and a fumble return for a touchdown in their game. Thanks to Gordon Mann for that information. So Del Valle is running away with their game, it seems like, against Kings. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's begin to check out, I believe, actually we're going to get a score officially on that game. It's 21-0 with 14:50 to play in favor of Del Valle. Frostburg State trying to run down the field right now. I think they picked up a first down there.
They're back in action in Wesley, Frank, so that game has just started back up. And Wesley has the ball close to midfield after a pretty good return.
One thing I'll show you before I lose it here, and then we will go over to the Wesley game, is
Gonzalez,
this game.
He sends Alberto in motion. Fakes the throw. It's a handoff. That's Chance LeGrand on the carry.
So Catholic trying to run the ball
Maybe a gain of
right
3,
now
gets out to
on
the
Merchant
34.
Marine a little bit.
Chance LeGrand on the carry. 2nd and 7.
Let's take a
Tough
quick
season
peek
for the
at.
Cardinals.
Yes, go ahead.
I was just saying, it's just been a tough season for the Cardinals in their second year in the new MAC, but just
for Groshot.
One of those things they'll learn from and be back.
Well, here's a chance. Groshot back in there. Whoa, nice job stepping up.
That's a touchdown.
Good timing by us. We finally got one today.
It only took till 1:45. Hey, good job, guys. No, I think that we've got a couple more than that, but that was perfectly timed.
And I didn't even know. That was just a complete guess.
Pocket presence by Groshot to get out of the way from all the rushes and find his man. Now this RPI defense is a little bit on their heels today.
They win, they're in. They lose, they have to start being concerned about the Dutchman Shoes game. There's some wind there too. You can see from the flags blowing up there.
Yeah, looks like they're going for 2 again.
When the field goal attempt failed.
Oh, so that's why they're going for 2, is that their field goal kicker was injured on that block.
Yeah.
So they do not have apparently they don't have a backup kicker. All right, well they're only six points down, so not so bad for the Saints, especially with lots of time still left in this one.
Dangerous one, Keon Giles right there. And if he read that correctly, he could have been gone for a touchdown.
MIT is starting to pull away from Norwich, Frank. Goyle just hit Bravard for 15 yards for a touchdown with 6:10 remaining in the third quarter. They're up 20-0. So it looks like MIT is going to jump to 8-1 overall. Be interesting to see if they get any love in the rankings on Wednesday, but they're still sort of on the outside looking in, especially with the Mariners dominating.
They're at the 31. Looking deep towards Kemp. Now he looks left. He's going to move left in the end. Isaac Johnson couldn't get to him. Around the edge and out of play. And a flag on him.
No flag down there, but first.
Might be one of those late hits on the quarterback type of deals.
I'm going to try to see if I can tell you what it is, but first I want to see this Misericordia game developing here. As it looks like Albright is on the cusp of scoring. Yes, it does. 3rd down and 6 around the 8-yard line. And that will be stopped. Big decision by Albright coming up here. What do? You take the points on an over season.
Well, they're down. You can look at it as either 2 scores or 3, depending on how you want to slice it. So, 3 points would at least get you, within 2 touchdowns. Otherwise, you'd have 2 scores and 2-point conversions, and statistically, probably a safer bet to take the 3 if you can get it.
And they're going to call a timeout there. Let's go back to the Salisbury game. 4th and 19 being faced here after the penalty. And it looks like, check that, 3rd and 19. So Wesley needs to convert here, and this is 3rd and a country mile. Back to pass, got time. Burrows is running for his life now and throws the interception.
There he goes. What a big play by the Salisbury defense, man. They are kind of the unsung hero of the Seagulls team this year, Frank. I mean, they're pitching a shutout to Wesley, into the second half, and here's their 2nd interception of the game. And that's really probably one of the people who are asking, what's going on with Wesley and their struggles. But a lot of it comes down to turnovers, and that includes missed field goals, and they're forcing some plays here and there, and other teams are capitalizing on that.
I mean, he threw it. He was basically being taken down as he threw it there. You can see.
Yeah.
And great job recovering there. Go back to regular speed to show the run back.
Honestly, Frank, I'm having flashbacks to Hoffman getting taken down in the Brockport game and Arita being right there to run it in for 6. I mean, we were standing right on the field when it happened. It was just one of those ill-advised throws by the quarterback. And
Albright touchdown, James. Albright touchdown.
Yeah. Yep, and that's been sort of the MO with this Misericordia team all season. They don't necessarily put anybody away either. So interesting to see that they're, here we go. The Albright Lions are fighting back.
Looked like Salisbury may have fumbled that ball there.
The minus 20-yard line to the goal line, quite as fast as Divine Green there, but as I'm coming down, the defense coming off the field, getting their huddle. Green is enjoying his 2 interceptions today, and he's barking at his teammates, wondering where his blockers were. Obviously in a joking fashion, but would have liked to have 1 block to see if he could get the rest of the distance. But great game by Divine Green, as we talked about earlier. Two interceptions today.
All right.
Frostburg now up 21-0. Montclair 21-0. And Rowan, Amherst, and Trinity seems to be frozen up there. We'll see if we can't resolve that issue. Amherst back with the ball.
In the Western New England Endicott game.
Go that in a moment. Actually, we're looking for the RPI game here. There we go.
Like they're, no, it's 1st and 10, and Endicott has the ball inside the Western New England red zone. Looks like.
Nope, that's Davies. Pardon me. They switched it up. Davies.
This is what we want actually to see, because it looks like RPI is threatening now again.
Go see if you can get to the Endicott game.
We'll do.
Yeah, they're doing what they did. Remember the game they put?
Yeah, it was against Hobart.
Yes. Same thing.
Cella's in the backfield. Davies in. Technically, he's the quarterback right now. Davies is going to follow Cella to the left. Can he find a hole? And he is.
Yes, he does.
Touchdown. Nice play there. Yeah, they've used that play throughout the season where they kind of do a wildcat type of formation and let Davies, who's a wide receiver, run the ball. He had a 45-yard touchdown against Hobart with a similar play. Nice block by Cello, number 21 there, to push the guy out of right. Oh man, well, he pushed him off to the sideline basically. that was the reason for the touchdown there. Really nice block.
Just hit it.
A little breathing room.
Upright.
24-13, bring him to within a 2-score game. Still plenty of time. 13-38.
Yep.
Exactly what they needed to start this third.
Minute 22. It only took for them to get a touchdown.
It's huge.
Gotta love numbers.
Keep the goals in this one.
Yeah. We're in third quarter. I mean, as they said, plenty of time left.
And this is one of the strangest formations I've seen for a kickoff thing. Is I love this sort of this fake sort of. I don't know if they'll go for an onside here, but it sure looks like they might based on the formation with sort of this little. Yep, there you go.
Wait, you don't like it? You don't like when they do that?
No, they're gonna do it. AJ Hall, Adam Raza back to return.
Yeah, when they finally don't do the onside kick, you're never gonna be expecting it. Oh, that.
Take a bounce.
Yeah, maybe they're going to save that one to the end. Well, they got lucky that ball didn't roll out of bounds.
That ball, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to have the ball at the 40-yard line because it looked like that line drive was going to take a bounce to the left. Thankfully for Endicott, it just rolled through the left corner of the end zone, which will be a touchback.
Husson just went up 43-2.
Wow.
Yep.
So there's wind up in Troy, you can tell. As we said, ball not even staying on the tee.
Yeah, I can overhear hear the announcer saying, or Kurt rather, saying that Ithaca just scored. That's right. Kendall Anderson had a 12-yard touchdown rush with 2:43 left in the third quarter. So now the Bombers are up 7-3 in that one. Might be enough to give Bombers the game. We'll see if the offense can get something going. Ryan is 7 for 14 for 50 yards. Gained 86 yards rushing, but kind of. So it looked like a slow.
Help on the tackle there. Initial hit by O'Brien. Abbott comes in to finish the job.
This is a big series for the Endicott defense. They really need to come up with a stop here and get their offense the ball back and maybe give it a chance to make this game a score. Hey, Frank, jump over to the Salisbury game real quick if you can.
12 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. 5 receivers set, empty backfield for Coleman.
There, we might have. Oh, perfect. We got the live replay. Well, maybe not. Looks like a third interception by the Wolverines has been capitalized. Number 5 for Salisbury, I think, had at least one before. It may have had all 3 picks in this game. So, once again, the Seagulls back on offense. Yeah.
I mean, they had to contain them to no points here, and right now that's where they are. They would not be in a field goal kicking position, but they've got to stop them twice more before we can even talk about that, really.
Good news for Endicott fans is that their defense is held, and it looks like they're going to receive the ball back after the punt and have a chance to pull within 4 points if they can get a score on this next possession. That would definitely change the game here. Oh boy, looks like the Trinity defense is on their heels here in the coop with Ali Eberth and the Mammoths knocking on the door one more time here. Can't get a sense of the down marker from this camera angle here, but I'm assuming it's either second or third down.
Eberth in trouble there.
Let this one go. I think
he's out of bounds.
Had to throw that one out. Now, surprised that Eberth didn't try to run that one in. He's pretty quick, but it must have been a second down play, so they may have one more shot here. Looks like Salisbury's lining up to punt here. So good stop by the Wolverine defense to not allow the turnover to cost them any points. It's just going to cost them field position. Since the chances of them getting.
I'm looking at something here as I was trying to reload the Trinity game. Middlebury is playing Trinity in soccer, and there's a lightning delay in that soccer game. Believe it or not, up here tonight or today.
Is that game in Vermont, or is that game
in
Hartford?
It's in Vermont, but I mean, interesting weather throughout the land here. And Amherst successfully scores. We lost our feed to that game, but got it back. But not before Amherst did score and make it 13-7. So the Bantams start with 7-0 and have lost their grip on this game a little bit. Go to Quad Box for a second here, and you can see different situations. Actually, it looks like the fourth game fell off here for a second. So,
well, we got a little trickeration going on in Geneva. Hobart just completed a 51-yard pass on a wide receiver, the wide receiver throw. Statesmen are trying to take the lead in that one.
Fleming just got.
Salve just tacked on another score. Tyler McGovern complete to Danny Hoffman for 7 yards. They're 33-7.
Brought it for 15 to 16 yards, and that was right before Shea drew the penalty and really got Endicott going. Let's see what they do on this third down, though.
3rd and 5 from their own 49.
Player down for.
Endicott gets a first down, it looks like here.
Yeah, that's a big completion. That defensive series was huge for them, as is this offensive series, trailing by, what is that? Let's do the math. 11 points. So yeah, they need to score on this possession to try to pull within at least 4 here to make it a 1-possession game.
He's such a big body.
Oh boy, look at that. EJ Lee.
It's a game again.
Yep. Can't count out the Wolverines. They can score real fast.
2nd and 8.
Even though he got the 45.
Trips to the right. Miloski looking to his left for McManaway. And
too hard on it.
Yeah.
Threw a fastball when McManaway wanted to see.
Up and in, and we have ourselves a 6-point game. 13-7 Salisbury, and just like last year, the second half proving a big play there for the Wolverines. And Simpson getting the hookup on the end of that one. But it brings us back to the first play of the game. This entire game could be turned around.
What do you think? 7-3 here. Yeah, it's again the Hobart Ithaca game, but Hobart.
They got those
they just they apparently called an incomplete pass a fumble.
2nd and 7, Ithaca
one of my Hobart friends complaining that the referees are taking this one away from the statesman left. So he's a little biased, but
hands off, sweeping near side. Anderson.
Sometimes how it goes.
He's nailed there after a 2-yard gain.
And credit the Hobart defense. They have really shown a huge improvement from what we saw up at Brockport in week 1. They're playing much better football. It's taken some time and some personnel changes, but after giving up 56 or 60 something points to Brockport in week 1, they're going toe to toe with Ithaca.
Of course, it's now 27-20 RPI, so that game's not over yet. The Saints have come back in it a bit. They're still late in the 3rd in that game. 2nd and 5 at the 40. Hobart brings heavy blitz. Nobby to throw. Gets away.
Well, look, Nobby sneaks out of there.
I think he crossed.
He crossed. Yeah, that's another one the officials missed.
And he's got the first down.
His whole body has to be in front of it, though. So it's close. It was definitely close.
I got a text message from a Hobart parent saying that was definitely a forward pass. Statesman fans are not going to be happy about the film on this one, but for teams like Brockport and Portland, you want to see Ithaca continuing to win. That will bolster. And if you're RPI for that matter too, because you have that 1-point win over Ithaca, you're rooting for the Bombers today if you're an RPI or Brockport fan. There's a replay, and
this is me replaying. Let's see.
35. And
he's fine still by rule. I'm going to tell you something, James. Because that foot is where it is, the heel is behind the line of scrimmage. It stays. The ball's released there. It's a good call. It is not illegal forward pass.
Hobart trailing 7-3. Again, it's all moot if St. Lawrence back on RPI. 7-20 Engineers with
in the meantime, we have a touchdown, and we have a game going on in the Western New England game.
Nice.
It is 24-19 now.
Inside the 5 with the 8-yard line. 4 missed tackles. Nick Servone with a big and the first down. Well, Muff, this Hobart defense played really well in the first.
53 left.
We're still in the 3rd quarter in this game?
It is, again,
yeah, only 9:53. And once again, another miss on the extra points. I mean, boy, not that there's a big difference between being down 5 or 4, but still. Tough day for the kickers there in Eastern Mass, rather.
But it's starting to come down a little bit harder now, as we can see. Not from us. We're
A little bit of rain, it sounds like, is coming down there.
But this game's getting good, and Mother Nature's trying to ruin it a little bit.
In the meantime, let's go back to that questionable situation we were talking about there. Ithaca, we think, was correctly awarded that forward pass, and in retrospect, or at least one of us thinks that. I shouldn't speak for you.
Yeah. They're I guess the only consolation prize for Hobart is even if they lose today, if they can beat St. Lawrence in Week 11, they may have a chance to kind of back into the New York State Bowl because Ithaca finishing second, assuming that RPI hangs on to defeat St. Lawrence today, will probably pass on that game because the two likely runners-up for the Empire 8, Cortland and Alfred, are teams they've already played, kind of like what we saw last season. And you could see Hobart, do what Union did last year, end up getting the Liberty League bid, and so I'm sure the Statesmen don't want to take their fourth loss, but there's still a chance for them to get an extra game if they can win next weekend. But I'm sure they want to try to cause a turnover here or make a big play to keep themselves in the game, because an Ithaca touchdown here might be a game over. Pretty tough D right there.
In the meantime, I believe we have a big run back by Western New England that just occurred on the kickoff.
Yep.
They're going to make it a one-touchdown lead if they can. Brian Fallon is 3 out.
They're going to try the field goal in the Hobart game.
Yeah, and this isn't an automatic because this kicker for Ithaca is only hit about 50% of his kicks. I think he's like 3 for 6 or 3 for 7 or so.
Wesley back with the ball. Burrow is setting up a screen pass here, and it's pretty successful. Down to the 30-yard line.
It's a good snap. Kick is up. It's low, and he got it through.
Okay.
Not a good kick, but it worked.
Let's go back to the Salisbury game here.
First half didn't find the same kind of success here. Some good blocking from that Wesley offensive line. Really just utilizing that. They pick up the first there.
I mean, this could be the end of the Pool C possibilities for Salisbury, because it would be Pool A or bust basically for them if they were to lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what time it is?
It's time for Brockport Cortland.
Indeed it is, although I'm going to tell you, in the meantime, we got a development in the Misericordia Albright game. It's now 16-14. So this game's going to be eventually going to halftime. We're going to lose a lot of the 12 o'clock games. We're going to focus more on this game a little bit more later. So we'll keep you updated on the score, but we'll give you more of this game definitely coming up soon. We want to bring you the championship game in the Empire 8 in a few moments here, a little bit of it.
Looks like the
offense 44.
Golden Bears are knocking on the door again.
He's had a few calls here today, and you can see him on the field right now, not pleased himself and the referees.
Touchdown of the game, almost the same.
Not just knocking on the door as rain snow mix is coming down.
Deeper, but Alec Coleman, just like that.
Well, that's a big response for the Golden Bears, who saw their big halftime lead evaporate pretty fast. And boy, the rain is coming down.
Up and good. It's 31 to 19, a 12-point game.
Not a pretty sight, but
Still within striking distance, but now
the game's certainly not over yet. But big response by Western New England there.
2 men left, 1 to the near side right. 1st and 10 Hobart, their own 38. Still down by a touchdown. Hoffman to throw. Sets up, fires high. Oh, he needed every.
Oh, there's Matt Woods. Big catch there. Yeah, he's like 6'5", and that was really extending.
And I didn't think even Matt Woods could get that. Man, if that was on the basketball court.
Matt Woods, number 84, and Wahid Nabi, number 6 for Ithaca, were teammates at Shaker High School who just won, I think, a New York State either conference championship or section championship last night out there in your neck of the woods, Frank, Albany area. So a couple of old Shakers playing well for these two teams.
Hefner has 26 rushing yards today on 5 carries.
Runs up the middle on the fake pass there.
Big penalty situation there for Wesley. 2nd and 30 was that play. And they need to get down to the 19-yard line for the first down on 3rd and 18 coming up.
Yeah, this is the momentum has really switched into to Wesley's favor. I think if they can make this conversion, that would be big.
2nd and 13 Hobart at the Bomber 47. 9:55 to play. They trail 10-3. 2 men right, 1 to the far side left. Matt Woods is tight end left. Boy, did he get up high to make that catch. The running back now is Milliken. Back to throw, swings to Milliken. Wide open for
Mobile screen, but now where are the blockers? Nope, that's not going to work.
15 yards, but he danced around after the catch, and he gets a very short gain. I don't know what to make of that.
Hey, hop back over to that Wesley game, Frank. There's a big player coming up here.
4th down and 6, and they're going for it.
That's right. Yep, not going to be kicking here.
Will they get the play off before halftime or before the end of the quarter? Yes, they will.
And guess what's coming up, Frank?
Still curling around. Throws it towards the end zone.
It's
a 4th interception.
Ugh. I feel like I'm watching Jameis Winston and the Buccaneers again. There's a lot of turnovers are just killing them today.
Tyler Kishbaugh, the free safety, was the main man in coverage. He had some help from R.J. D'Amico, and 4th down, Hobart will punt. Delasanti needs a strong one here into the wind with 8:58 left to play.
Bad news for Hobart is that they're punting in the wind. The good news is at least the chance of Ithaca having a short field is probably negated. We'll see. This could be one of those plays though where Hobart tries to make something happen. I don't know. It's been a long time since we saw Hobart run a fake punt, but that's like 4th and 15, so it's a little bit much.
In the upper right, we're joining the Brockport game 0-0, 3.5 minutes into the first quarter.
Flag goes down, 25, 30, 34-yard line, and a flag. A flag came flying in well after the completion of that play. So let's see if this hurts Hobart any. Oh, just the sideline warning on Ithaca.
Penalty against Cortland here. We'll move the ball up. In the meantime, Endicott back in business, it looks like. This is becoming a shootout in the 3rd quarter. This game may never end.
The offensive struggles they had in the first half definitely seem to have been adjusted for, and they look like a different team in the second half. If they can keep trading blows with the Golden Bears, they'll just need the defense to get a turnover to flip the scales a little bit. But oh boy, look at this big stack.
Yeah, German area back about 15 yards.
I think that might be. They were
saying down. They're saying down.
Okay. It almost looked like it was a turnover there in Brockport territory.
Found it, and that's going to be 2nd and long.
For 134 yards before that gain, and a lot of that has come in this 3rd.
One of the question marks we had about this Brockport team was their offensive line, and they had a few weeks there that were very dominant in the middle of the season, but it seems like the last couple of games they've been struggling a little bit. Maybe that's because of injuries. I'm not sure.
Wow.
And then a top pass right there. That's very unlike Brockport.
Let's go back to the Hobart Ithaca game for a moment.
All right.
They'll be a couple of yards short. It'll be 3rd down and 2. They are 5 of 15 today.
3rd down. Well, if Hobart wants to hang in there with this game, they got to make a stop here.
Final game next week at St. Lawrence at 1 o'clock. If either Hobart loses or RPI wins, the season's going to be over for Hobart as far as qualifying for the NCAAs. Hobart jumping around on the line of scrimmage defensively. Now they've dropped back in coverage. Navi changing the play. 9 on the play clock. 3rd and 2 at their own 43.
In the meantime, too, a face mask is being called against Wesley as Salisbury has the ball back. We'll go there in a few moments.
Looks like something just happened in the Endicott game. That might be worth checking out. That could be a big blow to this Endicott drive. It looked like there was a fumble.
It is, yes.
Yep. Well, that's a killer right there for the Gulls. But oddly enough, Frank, it looks like the sun is coming out there, and so maybe the rain and bad weather is finally over. But once again, you got Golden. Well, as all this water just pours into the screen, maybe it is still raining, Frank.
Yeah, it looks like it got a little brighter over there, so maybe it was just some old water.
Yeah, and if you see the flags in the end zone, they're not blowing around so bad. Let's see if Let's see what Salisbury's got here. If they can close this one out, they've gotten 4 turnovers off of Wesley interceptions, and but they only have a 6-point lead. So the Wolverines are 1 play away from taking the lead in this game. They really need this young quarterback, Nowitzki, to drive this team down and punch one into the end zone and burn some clock and maybe even some of Wesley's timeouts.
JB, in the meantime, Cortland has scored on Brockport. It's 7-0. Cortland.
Wow.
Hope you didn't make plans for the 5 o'clock zone.
Yeah, right.
Chased in the backfield, and he'll be brought down, forcing 4th down now, and no flags coming out this time. The Seagulls will have to punt here, up by 6, ticking down towards 12 minutes remaining.
In the Endicott game, something looks like we just had a big momentum shifter, Frank. If you can jump quickly, we got a touchdown on a fumble. Huge mistake by the Golden Bears, giving Endicott new life. Looked like they were, kind of down in the dumps there. Game over, possibly, with running out of time. But huge play here. I think they're probably they're not going for 2.
Schinderman was in there, but it wasn't him. A defensive back came in. I thought 38, but I could be wrong.
Gibson.
And the kick is good.
Okay, so once again they're just down by 5. Wow, what a turnaround of events there. First they thought they were going to score. They fumble the ball, get it back for a touchdown. Crazy game out there in Beverly today.
Some of the screens and swing plays, so try and look towards that for the Wesley offense to sort of force him to throw to a receiver.
All right, there's 6:21 left in the Hobart game. They trail by 7.
Including the NEHC title game. 5 wides, 3 left, 2 right, empty backfield. On 2nd and 10, Hobart. Hoffman looks to throw. Chase backside, gets rid of it underneath. Matt Woods caught. 45.
There's Woods again. He's a senior playing in his last game on Boswell Field. I think he might have landed on the football there. He's not looking so good there. Hopefully it's just one of those you land on the football and get the wind knocked out of you kind of deals.
And they get the 10 tacked on to the completion. First, the injury timeout, though, for Matt Woods.
Eamon Gillespie going down at about the 40. So instead of
well, here's our developing situation early in the game. Brockport has given up 7 points. Was it on the ground or in the air? Can you check that?
At the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 from the 40. Shotgun once again. Looks like they got 4 receivers set once again. Germanero is going to go out to throw. Runs up the middle. Is in trouble for ball. Makes the pass. And that's going to be caught for the 1st down into Rockport territory. I believe Sambo made the catch there for the Golden Eagles.
That's right. Samborski really a do-it-all back. We've seen him do it on the ground with power. We've seen him do it on the ground with agility. And right there, catching a pass for nearly a big 1st down.
So apparently it's on the own 49, not the opposing 49. They didn't get there in time. They need to get to the 50 for the 1st, 2nd, and 1. As for receiver Amherst.
Well, Trinity and Amherst are tied at 13 apiece now because Trinity just scored, trying to go up, though, by the point. Let's go to the extra point since it is important. They take a timeout for an extra point?
Yeah, the touchdown.
No, this is for a field goal. This is for a field goal. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Sorry, Frank. The Brockport touchdown was given up when a Jaeger punt was blocked and recovered by Dave Stegeman at the 30-yard line and run back in.
Look at the screen. Got to the 28-yard line on the screen pass. Set it up perfectly to Germanario.
Yeah. So can't pin that one on the defense. They didn't give up the touchdown. That was a special teams play by the Red Dragons. Big play for them, too, because they're going to need the points for sure. There's a little happy feet there, but makes another completion for a first down. Oh, is that a fumble? It looks like there's a fumble. Cortland signaling that they've got it, and they do. Another second turnover of the game for the Golden Eagles. And the number 3 team in the country is off to a bit of a rough start against a very hungry Cortland team.
In the meantime, speaking about hungry, is Endicott back with the ball here?
They are back on defense, so the Golden Bears have the ball, but it looks like they've held.
Going to be forced to punt.
And the punt is coming up. That's right. So they have a chance to take the lead on this next drive if they can get things going. Meanwhile, over in
a false start before the field goal attempt apparently just occurred.
That's a killer.
Makes it a 28-yard kick, it looks like now. At 33 yards. Blocked.
Blocked kick.
We'll stay tied at 13 there. Let's go to the other games here now in the quad box. In the upper left, Endicott back with the ball, down by a possession, 5 points specifically. In the upper right, Cortland with the ball after the turnover. Throws, Sagawa has it picked off. Brockport gets the ball back. The lower left, Hobart with the ball right now, trying to take the lead on Ithaca, I believe, or at least, what is the score on that one? 10-3 right now?
10-3, yep.
And in the bottom right now, it is Wesley looking to punt here, down by 6 with about 8 minutes left. In the meantime, Hobart is gaining some yardage. Can Brockport score here? Let's focus on this game in a moment. Once this play is ready to develop, we'll go to it. And a flag?
Yeah,
delay a game. How do you do that?
Coach Mangoni is going to be chewing somebody out for that one. All right. So Brockport is prime field position. Even though they've got a little ways to go to get the first down, they're at least at the 35 and should
this
come
is going
away
to be
with
fourth down coming up for Endicott, by the way. Just keep you updated on this back and forth affair. Fourth down coming up in a pretty long fourth, so they'll probably be punting this away.
And meanwhile, Salisbury's driving with under 8 minutes to go. They're hanging on to a 6-point lead against Wesley. They're only to about their 25-yard line. I think it's third down coming up, so could be.
It is. Third down and 6 coming up, or call it 7 actually.
Yeah, this is a big play for the Wesley defense. If they can make a stop here and get the ball back for their offense, I know that Burroughs has really been struggling with the interceptions today, kind of playing like Jameis Winston, but he still has a chance to give his team the win. They're only down by 6. If they can get the ball back and get it down and score, they're right back in this one.
We've got 2 big third downs simultaneously happening right now. Salisbury at third down and 7 here. Hold on, let's see what happens. He's taken down. Let's go to the Cortland game. Brockport, and they convert theirs to the 12-yard line, make it 13.
Nice pass by Germanera over there to get out of the pocket and find his man on the sideline there for the first down.
Wesley's going to get the ball back. We'll keep you updated on that in a moment here. Let's go quad. The bird agrees in the background.
Looks like Ithaca's got the ball back. That game now is in under 4 minutes to go. Hobart just called a timeout with 3:42 left.
Wesley has the ball at the 33-yard line after the punt, their own 33. In the meantime, let's see if Brockport can try to equalize here, down 7-0. You can see the wind there, too. Look at the pants of the referee on the top end of that.
Oh, yeah. It's blowing something fierce, but looks like...
it's a first down, it looks like.
First and goal. This is, Frank,
well,
this is going to be...
No.
Whoa. No. Oh, wow. Okay. So, but this is... I was going to say this is, vintage, Brockport, Joe Germinario. When they get into the short yardage, this is where, with his speed and his legs, he usually can pick up a first down. I'm surprised he's not under center, though. I would have just sort of set up under center and just try to do a over-the-top type of thing. But maybe, I don't know what the...
Timeout.
We're going to call a timeout and think it over. Given the size and speed of Germinario, I'm surprised that you wouldn't have him line up directly under center and just make him either jump for it or even do some kind of option play to get that first down. But
JB,
like
you would think that Hobart, a school with the endowment they have, would have an on-screen scoreboard, but they don't. So why don't you tell me what our condition is there? I had to throw that in. So.
Well, credit senior defensive tackle Sean Moore. He stuffed Kendall Anderson on that last play. Call a timeout with 3:35 left. It is 2-3 Statesman. It looks like a third down. Hobart is burning through their timeouts. So basically, if they can't score on this next possession, let's see, they've used 2 of their timeouts on this drive. So this must be third down for Ithaca. So that game will basically be decided on this next play, I think. We'll see.
Germinario can't get there, but he gets the first down. It's first and goal.
Yep. That's where having a quarterback of his size and legs really makes a big difference.
Has Husson punched your ticket yet?
You would think so. They were, since they were up 35 to nothing, or 35 to 2. Or 40. Let me see here real quick on.
Fourth down coming up in this game. Endicott will get the ball back here late in the third quarter. In the meantime,
6-2. Whoa, there's a touchdown for Brockport. Big play.
Yes, it is. 7-6 with the extra point pending. And I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Hudson is up 56-2 with 13:40 left in the fourth quarter. So basically, congratulations to the Eagles on clinching in their final year the ECFC title and going back to the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
So that's pretty much a done. We got one ticket punch. Let's see what's going on with RPI real quick here. They are. Oh, wait a minute. It's 20. Well, this is about 20 minutes old, but they're in the fourth quarter too, and they were only leading by 7. So once again, kind of letting the Saints and the teams they face hang around with them a little bit. Let's go check in on.
Well, it's St. Lawrence with the ball, looks like, too.
Throw, and that is off a couple of hands, and is that caught? It's a deflection and caught by McCormick around the 15-yard line.
Just for posterity, so you can see it. Well, just so you can see a touchdown possibly being scored out of nowhere for Husson. This would be an exclamation point. Wow, another big run for Husson. Make it 62-2 as they pull away here further with 11:18 left. Let's go back to the RPI game.
Trail by 7. We have 7:15 to go fourth quarter. First and 10 for St. Lawrence at the 15-yard line. Grow shot. Looks left, looks up, whoops, looked left, through middle, and it was knocked down. Incomplete on first down.
Good job by the defensive line.
Endicott facing a third down situation. 3rd and 30. You heard me right again. That's the second 3rd and 30 we've seen today.
Third and 30. Oh my goodness.
In the meantime, Salisbury is getting the ball back, it looks like, after a punt. 4 minutes left in that game.
Just a little over 4 minutes. Yeah, this is the time where they gotta grind that clock out. 3rd and 30. What's in the playbook for that? Wow, it's a long pass downfield and
Pass interference call.
oh no, a little home cooking, Frank.
You want to see it again? I want to see it again.
Yeah. Hobart's Ryan Hoffman was just intercepted, and so I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote for the Statesman there.
Let's get this back to 100% speed here.
Another score update, Frank. After this replay.
Look in the middle of the screen here, and you'll see where they're calling it. They're saying they pulled him there, and we're all around him in the meantime. It looks like a good call to me.
Yeah. Well, here's an update for you, Frank. The Springfield Pride has improved to 7-2 and 5-1 in the NEWMAC. They won 44-7 in the senior game there at Amos Alonzo Stagg Field. So congrats to the Pride. They will face off against MIT, who I believe probably also...
Joe Germanero just tore off a big run. Or is that Samborski?
I think it was Samborski. All right, that page is down. Looks like it's a final from Vermont. MIT is defeated Norwich.
We've included RPI in the quad boxes. St. Lawrence looking to score here. They need a completion. The ball is loose. They're saying it's a fumble. It is RPI's ball. Let's see. It is RPI ball. In the meantime, Brockport. Looked like Cortland left early there, but it's still completed to the 10-yard line, make it the 9 first down. Brockport trying to score 2 touchdowns in a row as they had trailed 7-0 earlier. Lost our feed in the Salisbury game, so we'll have to try to get that back. I almost gave the ball away to Joe Germanero there. Hold that thought.
Yeah, I'm getting a freeze on my side for the Salisbury game also. It's
okay, so it's not us.
It looks like, nope, they're calling out of bounds. So the Brockport was signaling touchdown, but no dice. The Salisbury feed is back online.
I've got that, yep.
In the fourth quarters, the Mustangs are leading 26-16 over Lyco. It's looking like they're going to hang on.
Wesley.
13 minutes on that one.
Only 2.5 left in this game, and Wesley having trouble moving the ball, trying to win it here. This may be their last chance to do it.
Yep. Tough day for Burrows, but if he can somehow pull off a
touchdown, Brockport. Touchdown, Brockport.
All right.
Burrows, Lee in the backfield. He'll move to his right. Back over to Lee. Beautifully designed play. And here comes Lee, making some people miss. Again around Harris. Here he goes, stretching out across the 30 and finally to the 26. That the gain Wesley has been looking for all game off the screen.
Wow.
JB, for those that missed that play that developed there for Brockport, we're going to have it in a second here.
Yeah, but that was a beautifully executed screenplay by Wesley on that last play. Look at that right there. Nicely done there. Just gets open underneath the zone coverage. And
another sack by Salisbury.
Isaac Johnson gets the stop back at the 34. Johnson his second sack of the season.
And looky here.
Because even RPI is not looking excited right now.
All RPI scores, but there's a penalty apparently.
Against RPI, and that comes off the board.
Wow.
That's 7 times penalties have taken big gainers away. In that case, a touchdown. Wow. It's just hard to believe that a team that plays so well is making this many mistakes and penalties.
You're not missing anything else, folks. We're kind of at a standstill in the rest of our games, although a personal foul being called against, it looks like Endicott. So Western New England gets a first down by penalty, I believe that means.
Well, the sideline will appreciate Glazer taking a hit like that.
Apparently roughing the kicker.
Wow.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right for the Engineers.
Hobart game is over. Ithaca holds on to win.
Will throw, and that is caught. Yes, that is caught just inside the 29-yard line by McDonald.
Nice catch by McDonald. Clutch throw.
The good news for
George with a clutch throw.
So he'll be at the 29. They need to get to the 27 for a first down. There's 4:10 to go here.
I'm sorry, we couldn't really hear you there. So what did you have to say?
I said good news for RPI and Brockport fans with Ithaca beating the Statesmen, even though it was a close call. That will keep them most likely in the top 10 for the regional rankings, and keep those wins that those two teams had over them in as well. So it was a close call there for the Bombers. They're sitting at 7-2 in second place in the Liberty League, depending on if do the Saints have a miracle up their sleeves.
Oh, there's a miracle for Endicott.
Wow.
Endicott touchdown. So we must be in the fourth quarter, JB. They haven't changed the scoreboard yet on that.
Is right.
We're going to try to take another look at that one in a moment.
RPI burning clock, down to 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Davies is out there in the Wildcat. He takes a snap, gives to Cella. Cella gets tied up right away.
Amazing.
He stops at 28. St. Lawrence will take a timeout with 3:08 to go in the half.
Final Merchant Marine 44, Catholic 10. Best start in program history, 7-1 for the first time since 1997. Congrats to the Merchant Marine, and what a pass and catch right there. Huge play. The Golden Bears have to be stunned. I mean, they were dominating this team in the first half.
They were up 17-0 in the first quarter.
I know, and look at this. Frank, we're in the final 90 seconds of the Wesley game. Let's see what happens here.
To the 5-yard line.
Oh, my God.
To the 5-yard line, and Wesley knocking on the doorstep with 1:26 remaining.
Fantastic throw by Burrows back.
And again, the buffering going on is their end, not ours, it seems like, so we apologize on their behalf. But look at the wind in that stadium for Endicott versus Western New England right now. The leaves are just blowing all around. In the meantime, back to Wesley versus Salisbury in Salisbury.
Back, looking for help. Throws it across their back corner.
Is that picked? Oh my goodness, it's caught. Touchdown.
Here by the referee. Immediately saw it. Great view for him. And Peel brings it down. Suddenly tie game.
What an amazing comeback. I mean, that's got to feel so great for Burrows to have played as poorly as he has today. 4 interceptions, and there he is throwing the winning touchdown potentially. I mean, I know there's still about a minute left to go, Frank, but Salisbury isn't really built to go 80 yards in a couple of plays. I mean, they barely pass the ball. I mean, this is a huge swing of events here for the Seagulls, and looks like we got another buffering freeze here coming up, so we're going to have to hold our breath for this extra point. But wow, what a comeback!
I believe I'm hearing it is wide left. It is 13-13 still.
Oh, no.
And just how we got there in the first place, here's that play. Burrows to the left side on the fade. It looked like it was going to be picked, but the offense came away with it, and even if it was a tie possession, it goes to the offense anyway. Let's go back to live action here. It is 13-13. RPI looking here like they have a long way to go. Or is this yeah, no, RPI's on offense. It is something in about 15, it looks like.
Yeah.
Now, Christian Cap could kick it. Endicott went for 2, you were going to say, correct? And got it.
Yep. We're up 34-31. That touchdown, by the way.
Look at Salisbury! Look at Salisbury! To the 45-yard line! But the ball gets knocked out!
It's Wesley's ball.
Wesley has it as Mofor makes the return.
Got to look at that one again. Give me a moment.
52 seconds remaining and 1 timeout. And for the Wolverines, knocking it out is Nazir Williams, who has come up multiple times in this fourth quarter.
While we're looking that up, it was Christian Cole who had that 58-yard touchdown reception for the Gulls.
Here it is.
What a turn event. So he's got the kickoff. He looks like he's going to break it for the return, and pop, all of a sudden right there, the ball is out, and it is Wesley football at the 45-yard line. Holy smokes. 52 seconds.
What a pop to get that ball loose. Wow.
That's coaching, I think. I mean, that's just that, players are taught, how to make these plays at key times, and that was amazing timing there.
In the meantime, we're in the second quarter, by the way, in the Brockport game. That was a pretty quick first quarter. And looks like they're trying to come around here and score again on Cortland. Look at Western New England, though. They are gaining yardage. They're across midfield, JB.
Yep.
We'll see if Wesley scores here. Burrows back after that recent touchdown across the middle. Picked off in the end.
It's picked off. Salisbury ball.
Oh my God. He goes from
big play after big play.
5 interceptions.
For this defense today.
Oh, brutal. I mean, it's great for Salisbury's defense, but just now the question mark is, what can Salisbury do offensively to get within, I don't know, like a long field goal? I mean, they never pass the ball, Frank. I mean,
wow. 5 picks, is that correct?
5 interceptions. This is, yeah, I mean, here they go. They're running it off the side. I think they're going to play for overtime, Frank. I don't think they can go 50 yards.
RPI is punted away. St. Lawrence is going to have one more chance to tie or win this game. And remember, their kicker is out. Look at Western New England. They're to the 20-yard line with 11:56 remaining in that game, in regulation at least, because now they're in field goal range, although it's a headwind, it looks like. So I'm not sure they could kick that ball. They wanted to. Look at that flag. Holy cow.
The Wolverines say they have the ball. And we don't have replay here, so whatever the referee's call is the way it's going to go.
They're saying now, what's he saying that they have the ball? Was there a fumble on that play?
I didn't see it.
I didn't either, but the commentators are saying that it's Wesley football, though the referees are telling the teams to separate. And
here it is.
Stop the clock either, by the way.
The video board saying, hey, look at it. They're not allowed to, though. And referees making the
Wesley looks
tough to tell.
Clearly none of them saw it.
So, and you know what? The Seagulls are going to let the clock run out.
We're going to overtime.
Yeah, they're going to let the clock run out rather than try to launch one down the field. I had a feeling
Western New England had a chance there and couldn't convert. Let's go to the St. Lawrence RPI ending here, as we have a bit in the balance, technically. And look at the position that punt landed in at the 3-yard line.
I think that's an interception.
It is, but it's unfortunately going to come back because RPI was offsides in the play.
Oh, no.
They will get first down again.
2:41 left.
Uh-oh, I think something big just happened in the Endicott game. Let's see, we got some celebrating going on.
It's a touchdown. It is a touchdown. West New England.
Hey guys, very interesting right now. Coach Wood just called over Trevor Skoglund toss and asked him which way he wants to kick. Here's the interesting thing. Every extra point, it seems like, every kick has been missed on the north end zone, but that's the one he wants.
And sportsmanlike conduct against Western New England, but that was after the touchdown, so they will get credit, I believe, for it.
Pretty good crosswind and a little bit into the player's face at this north end zone, but if Salisbury has the choice of which end.
In the meantime, offensive pass interference against St. Lawrence, half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, they've got a long way to go, especially against this tough RPI defense. And it doesn't look like that extra point was any good. So it's 37-34, Western New England, and kind of hard to read. I can't see the time, but fourth quarter coming down the wire there. Teams are coming out for overtime between Wesley and Salisbury. It's got to be kind of stunning for the Seagulls. They were in control of this game. They forced 5 turnovers, and here they are. They're tied, going trying to win it in OT.
Be back there in 1 second, folks. Don't you worry.
It's the option of offense or defense, or the end of the field you want to play from. After we flip it, gets offense or defense.
Yeah, and as our friend Wally Wabrich says, it's not the only wild finish for the noon start. So here we go. Let's see if Saints can
if nobody scores,
come up with some big play here.
Everybody's took 2 points on the third and third.
And I think all the traffic of people trying to see what's going to happen at the end of these games has gotten all these feeds to start to slow down.
Wesley, you're going to call the toss.
So, looks like Endicott. Oh no, Western New England did make the extra point, so they're up 38-34. Which is big. Endicott cannot tie with a field goal now.
Is this another penalty against St. Lawrence? How do you get unsportsmanlike conduct in this position as St. Lawrence?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's what happens when you have a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing. It looks like it was on that lineman who's being called off the field. So maybe a cheap shot after the play. Who knows? It's a bad time to take a penalty, to say the least. Salisbury has the ball to start off in overtime. They won the toss. Wesley has got the ball, rather.
Well, St. Lawrence, though, big one.
Clock's restarted. 1:10 to go in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10, St. Lawrence at the 36 on their own side of the field. 3-man rush. Groshot throws the ball.
Oh. You know, this is a time where you'd think this vaunted RPI secondary would come up with a big interception. They had like 15 in the first 5 or 6 games of the season, and then they didn't have one. Oh, nice play by the defensive end there to bat that ball down. breaking up the.
If nobody scores,
But it does stop the clock.
We'll flip it around. The team that didn't win the toss gets the option. Offense,
Here it goes.
into the field.
Ball's down, and there's that interception I was talking about, Frank.
Yep.
Oh, no, they called it. Oh, no, they didn't give it to him. They
wow.
said it hit the turf. So, tough break for RPI there. They thought they had the game and the Liberty League title wrapped up, but Saints have two more plays, I guess you can say, because it's only 3rd down, but 3rd and 10, a little ways to go. 4th and 13 in the Western New England game, so Endicott has to punt it away again.
Apparently we're having a complete loss of signal right now from that Salisbury game, unfortunately.
No, I would close it out and reopen it because I've got it on my side, and at this point in time, it looks like Wesley has the ball, and they are on the 5-yard line. So Wesley got the ball first, so depending on what happens with this series, Salisbury will have the chance to either tie or win the game.
On the first series.
And that's it.
We'll flip it around. The team that didn't win the toss gets the option.
Well, even though they got picked apart all second half, a couple of series when
In the meantime, by the way, Brockport did not score on that last drive they were looking to score on, and it's still 14-7. And RPI looks like they've punched their ticket, as you were about to say.
Congratulations to RPI. They haven't necessarily won their games in pretty fashion, but they're as we've talked to many of their players over the years, they're grinders, and so they find ways to win, and you have to give them credit for what they've done, and that's they're 8-0 and likely to be 9-0 after next week, and looking at a home game probably in round 1 of the playoffs. So. Oh yeah, well, there's definitely something wrong with the.
Yeah, I'm back in the 4th quarter right now in that feed, so that is definitely not working.
That's a shame. Let's see if we can get the live stats going here. All right, it went back. I just got it to pop back up. I think.
Well, what quarter is it in?
The 5th, aka overtime. So it looks like Chip Knapp has called a timeout, and his team is talking over strategy with although it's hard to tell if this is
RPI is punched, so we're gonna get rid of that one. Yep.
Yep, they're in. So we got them and Husson clinching. Now, as we said before, if Western New England wins, they win the CCC. If Endicott wins, then it's going to come down to them and Salve next week because Salve has won their game from earlier.
1st and 10.
I guess I should better double check that as a final before I stick a nail in that one.
Okay, we are back live here in the Salisbury Wesley game.
Yeah, Salve won 47-14, so they're just like us, watching the waiting to see the end of this one to figure out if they can play spoiler in the CCC race or not. Big play here for the Wolverines on 3rd and goal, and it looks like he is.
No.
The ref said he did not cross the plane. Unbelievable.
Are you buffering again too?
And still going. Yep. Finally, now it's back online, and it's 4th and goal for the Wolverines, and they're going for it. Probably going to run the same play. I can't believe they wouldn't do some kind of like bootleg or something. And he's in. That's a touchdown.
Took him a while to say it, though, that's for sure. There it is.
Yeah. Went off of the left guard or left tackle and punched it in. So now this is where kicking could be interesting because, we've seen some missed extra points across the region today. We've seen extra points missed in this game. I mean, Wesley was up, they could have been up 14-13 if they didn't miss that extra point. So this is a big play for Wesley right here. Bad snap and blocked. They blocked the extra point. Unbelievable.
7:43 left.
Unbelievable.
And a touchdown and a
Oh my goodness.
Now we'll throw it on down to Tim.
So
Shane Gaines off the edge with the block
for the second time, I mean, boy, Wesley has tried to give this game away so many times. Can Salisbury finally cash in? They need a touchdown, and that'll do it. Down 5. And watch the replay here, Frank.
I would, but unfortunately it's going to freeze again. There it goes.
The camera guy didn't get it anyway. But basically, it was blocked by from the left side of the defense, right side of the line. Got his hand on the ball. There was a bad snap. The holder did a good job to catch it in midair and put it down for the kick. But anyway.
In the meantime, Misericordia, which had given up a big lead earlier to only lead by 2 points, just scored on Albright in the third quarter. They're up 22-14 with a point pending. In the meantime, too, the Seagulls lose 2 yards in their first play of overtime, and it looks like an injury.
It's slow to get up. It's not good for the Seagulls.
We're going to go to this game where it looks like Western New England is going to punt it away to Endicott. Let's see how this punt goes.
7 times today. And it's
That's a low kick.
Short,
too. Oh, but what a good bounce for the Golden Bears.
Yeah.
Inside the 10. It's going to finally
And here, again, keep an eye on this Brockport-Cortland game.
Yeah. There's probably, looks like so many people across the country are trying to access the Salisbury feed that it's crashing it.
Folks, come to us instead.
I know, yeah. And I got nothing on that one now. And
well, here's what I got on it in the injury, so at least I don't think we missed anything.
He's limping off the field.
Oh, German Arrow hit hard there. Let's see if he got up in one piece. Remember, this is the anniversary of the game, game 10 or week 10 last year when he got carted off the field. Looks like he's okay, not exactly tremendous, but he's walking fine. And Endicott now with the ball. Let's see how much time's left on that clock. I think we're around 6 minutes, it said.
That was Fleming.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong. Yep.
Albright looking to run this one back and has a chance there. Wow, slicing and dicing. Nice job by the kickoff returner. Let's go to the overtime. We're back to action.
Looks like
boy, that looked like a false start. Yep.
Yeah. So
they're coming unglued here now. 2nd and 17 coming up.
Yeah, that's a rare miss from him. Right off the chest. His hands had it.
Offsides. Defense 94.
Oh, defense.
And they're going to get great field position.
Wow. That is a big mistake by the Wolverines. Defensive tackle there at the jump, but
got to hope for the wind to really carry this one. It does pick up again. Look at the American flag there next to the scoreboard.
And Endicott forced the punt in the upper left. A short punt, Western New England at the 40 to 35 to the 33-yard line.
Now, the only thing that I think Endicott has going for them there is that the Bears are going to be going into a pretty heavy wind, so look for Alec Coleman to have to tuck and run. And yeah, once again, the
There's a good punt by Perry.
Salisbury is feed is
pretty fast.
Stuck in
well, look
slow
at
motion.
Cortland on the upper right there, James. It's at the 13-yard line, 14-yard line of Brockport as we're getting close to the end of the first half.
That's Hoff, as Western New England's going to continue to try and run this ball. Endicott will get the ball back, obviously, but
Yeah, I got nothing on Salisbury, unfortunately. It looks like that feed has gone dead. Right in overtime with the game on the line. Huh.
Yeah, gotta work. Oh, wait a minute.
It's back.
It's moving again.
2nd and 6 after the gain of 4 by Hoff. Trips to the near side right. Hoff again right up the middle. He's got the first down.
3rd and 12. Seagulls have to score in this
And
overtime.
into
Still have a chance in this game.
inside the 25. He's down to the 23.
Looking across
22.
Pippage.
Oh, there's a throw.
Out wide, it's Scott. But he can't
Wow,
get
hey,
the
well.
first down. He's out to the 6, so he gets a
No,
little
we haven't
back.
seen many passes from Nowitzki, but his knee hurt a little bit.
First down
And
Right on the
anyway.
marker,
Now
say
they're looking
3.5,
for
a little bit
the
over that, close to the 4.
thanks to John Kelly from the Mariners giving us a little shout out on Facebook.
3 one-point losses this season with a big rivalry victory.
It's been basically
Come down
the
to the
go-to
defense
guy.
right
He
here.
doesn't have quite the numbers to back it up. But
Cortland kicks a field goal just to keep you updated, so it's 14-10 in that game.
he laid out
19-13 Wesley.
That catch.
And
just
4th
couldn't
and
hold
4
on to it.
coming. And
Though he
Nowitzki
might have
just
been
tried
out
to
of
walk
bounds.
around
Timeout.
the sideline. He was really hampered by that ankle right now.
It's an unfortunate situation for Nowitzki. Playing pretty well all game, managing this offense. Haven't seen
Over the
as
play
many
action,
rushing
Coleman just
yards
keeps it,
from them
though.
thus far, but playing exceptionally well. Only a sophomore hit.
Philosophy was Coleman is just a little step up higher than that.
He's just a junior.
Shout out to Jared Blades.
Yep. Kloski as well, both the junior
All
quarterbacks.
right, looks like the feed is back on here, and the Salisbury faithful are whooping it up in the stands.
This is definitely.
Since Endicott took the lead off the Colts,
Got going here now. The camera guy is a little bit off. All right, Frank. The Salisbury feed is back online. It looks like, and they are lined up inside the 6-yard line. Here in OT. Drops back to pass and throws into. Can't tell if that catch was made because everything's freezing up on us.
Yeah, we got multiple games apparently freezing here. The bottom right is where it'll appear if it does.
See what they did. They do. He actually picked up a yard as a result.
Pass was the play was incomplete, and Wesley is running off the field as if they've won the ball game. I think they went for it on 4th down and they failed. And I think Wesley just won the game.
Wow. And so, Pool C hopes for Salisbury gone pretty much now. They either beat Frostburg next week or it's done. I can't see them getting in at 8-2.
Which means he has to come off for a play.
Well, on the flip side, I guess it's good news for maybe other teams across the country that were hoping for that Pool C bid. There's looks like there might be a fight in midfield in this game. There's a lot of the coaches are trying to break things up. There's a lot of jawing going on right now. So Wesley is excited, but Salisbury is taking exception to some of the celebration. And yep, now we've got a full-on brawl starting in the middle of the field. This is not a good look for either team. Come on, guys. Unfortunately, we can't. You're not seeing it on the lower right-hand corner here, but Wesley has beaten Salisbury, dropping them for their first loss of the season. And as you can see, the Seagulls are taking exception. The Wesley and Seagull and Salisbury coaches are trying to break things up. It's some of the guys are starting to shake hands and hug a little bit. At least it's a bitter rivalry between these teams, and one that Wesley has dominated over the last decade and a half. And it looked like Salisbury could have won 13-0.
Throws it out.
And here we are in big catch there for
Williams
Mr.
above
Purdy.
45. A tackle made by
He was,
Armand Jefferson.
Isaiah was one of the heroes of one of the Cougars games about a month ago when they came back to win 37-33 on the last play of the game.
Right now,
So the Cougars trying to create a little distance here on this drive, but they're looks like they're checking the play.
So if they do defeat.
Pretty amazing turn of events though in the Salisbury game. Up 13-0, ends up looking like they're going to lose the game with then Wesley misses the point after. They opt not to try to go 80 yards and play for OT. And there you go. So Wesley with a big win.
Going into his slide, he got basically kicked at the end.
Looking good for an ECAC bowl game, which we will be helping them announce those pairings right after our selection show next week. Or interview with the committee chair, I should say, rather. All right, so
It's a must-win game for them if they want to make the tournament.
2nd and 5.
Have a shot at the
Looks like
exact
we're
title, but just to make
back in Salisbury. The Seagulls trying to settle down. Coach Wood getting the team to take a knee. He's got to be frustrated. That's a tough loss for them after being up 13-0. To see it slip away like that at the end, but they did lose their starting quarterback in that overtime period. And
Koloski dropping back. He's got his man. It's going to be very close to a down.
close. I don't know if he got it. It's looking like
Shanley with the grab right near the 45.
yeah, that's Shanley, the big tight end from Connecticut.
They might call for a measurement. We'll see.
Sounds like an official's timeout's coming up. They're going to measure and see how this one shakes out here.
I thought it was short as well.
You can hear the announcers
Official's timeout to looks like
saying that they think that
stops the clock at 1:48.
1:48 remaining in that one. This is a big call for the Seagulls here.
Here's the measurement.
Make sure no one's kicking that ball an extra inch or two. Looks like they're saying they got it. They got it. Misericordia now inside the 30-yard line, looking to add to their
initially when he grabbed it, but
9-point lead.
Riley Shanley keeps the drive going. So Riley Shanley with he's got 5 catches, 61
And Portland
yards.
has tacked on a field goal, and so they're only down by 4 with just a little under 90 seconds left in the first half. Kind of surprising there.
Pressure was coming in on him. Mike Churko.
Frostburg pretty much taking care of business like we thought they would. They were up 34-6 at halftime, and now 43-6 with 3:10 left in the third quarter. And if you're a Frostburg fan, hey, go Dragons! An upset by Portland would be a big action here. It looks like that'll be a first down for the Gulls.
Continue to move.
And time is ticking away, and they can't kick a field goal to tie it. So Joe Kowalski and the Gulls are going to have to get into the end zone before time runs out here.
1st and 10.
Dropping back. He's on the run now, and just basically, making the case that he didn't intentionally ground that one because he was outside the hash marks there, but basically just trying to stop the clock to preserve some time.
Ryan Smith with the pressure.
It looks like the rain has stopped, but it's still pretty windy there. And the wind is at the Gulls' back, so We saw, I think it was Coleman who had that long 58-yard touchdown pass to give Endicott a brief lead.
Jason LeBeau, his first season at the helm of Western New England.
Timeout goals.
Inherited a pretty good group, obviously, but so again, next week, Endicott will be
Christian Cole, I meant to say, was the deep threat there. So keep an eye out for him.
This game very much to affect what the stakes are for next week's game. 1:31 left.
Coming out of this timeout, 121. The ball is basically at about the 43-yard line. They have to score.
Right now.
Not a whole lot of time left.
41. We thought this would be a ground and pound game with the rain. Not the case.
Here come the Bears. They're lined up to blitz. And there's 13, Cole. He was the one who scored the touchdown. He's waving to his quarterback saying, look, there's nobody on me.
On the audible by Koloski. Now he's...
Yeah, wow. I can't believe they didn't check out of that. Cole was wide open. I mean, they at least made a play to get out of bounds, but looked like they left Cole wide open. Maybe they were trying to bait the goals into throwing a pass that would kill the clock, but Cole looked wide open there and could have scored. Didn't have a defender within 10 yards of him. I don't get it. All right.
3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 coming up, but let's see what we got now. Oh, and that looks like it's going to be a false start on the offense, which is
loss of 5 here for Endicott.
Tough break there. So 3rd and 14 coming up from about the 47 or 8-yard line.
Trying to win the game.
Again, Endicott has to score and win the game.
7-yard line.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Cole here. He scored a touchdown to give him a lead early. He is the wide receiver closest to the screen there. And he's breaking inside. He's throwing deep. There's Cole. Oh, nice defense by the Golden Bears. Huge play. Looks like the defensive back might have gotten a little banged up on the stop, but 4th down coming up. This is the game. 4th and 14. 4-point lead. If the Golden Bears win, they are your CCC champs, and they're going to the playoffs. So far, we've seen Hudson and RPI clinch. We've seen the Merchant Marine stay in the lead for the Pool B bid.
It's the one-on-one matchup that Cole had.
And now we're going to see what happens in the CCC right here.
Safety help over the top, too. So Western New England calls timeout. They will be hosting Becker next week.
One of the games that we sort of lost track of here because we've been following this one so closely.
With a 31-17 victory over University of New England.
Hey, how about that for Becker?
The other final is a 47-14 victory for Salve Regina over Nichols.
For some of these programs, a win can make a season, so you gotta celebrate them when you can get them. But as I was saying before, we kind of lost track here. What was going on with the Trinity Amherst game, and it looks like it was originally when we pulled away it was 13-13, and now it looks like the Bantams are up 20-13 in the 3rd quarter and threatening again. So we're going to stay here and keep an eye on the outcome of this one because it's basically coming down to the final play. But we'll jump back to check on Brockport right before the end of the first half there. They are hanging on to a 4-point lead. defense is out on the field. And looks like Amherst came up with a big stop there. They are celebrating in Hartford, where it is now sunny and beautiful, but breezy. All right, here comes Cortland. And oh boy, a big catch. Shanley, once again, the Simsbury, Connecticut. What a huge catch on 4th and 14. Shanley hauls it in, the former Simsbury Trojan.
From the 15.
And the Gulls are knocking on the door here. I think the Golden Bears might have thought they had him, and what a big play right there.
On it now, 53 seconds left in the game. Trips to the far side right will be McEwen, Shanley, and McManaway. Cole is alone at the bottom of your screen on your left. Whiteley in the backfield with Kolaski. 40 seconds left to go. Second down. Kolaski dropping back to pass. He's got a tip ball, and it's off the hands of Shanley.
Almost. He's trying to get pass interference. No dice.
Yeah, you're right. McManaway just saw the one. So it stops the clock with 32 seconds. 3rd and 7. You do not need a touchdown for a fresh set of downs, and you still have 3 timeouts left. Yeah, you don't have to rush up and spike it or anything like that. Cole to the near side left.
All right, here it comes.
McEwen, McManaway on the far side right. Kolaski.
3rd down.
For Cole in the back corner. And he was well covered.
Now you can tell by the reaction that that play was incomplete.
3rd and 7. 27.8 left to go.
Just gone to the end of the 3rd quarter in Hartford. Trinity leads 20-13.
The Gulls.
Timeout Gulls, 4th and 6 coming up.
4th and 7. Endicott's got to get this. Too bad it's not. Too bad they didn't do that 2-point conversion like we said before, because right now they can be kicking up field.
Here we are back in Brockport. Segala back to pass. Running for his life a little bit, trying to, nope, he's just going to run out of bounds. I thought he might try to launch one downfield, and he did it the last second, incomplete.
Still 27.6 seconds left. 2 timeouts now, unless Western New England called it. I'm not sure. It was Western, so we still have 3 timeouts.
Oh, it was a Western New England timeout.
So potentially, if Endicott can somehow, if they don't even get the 4th down.
Yeah, we'll see if they're just focused on getting the 1st down.
They do have 3 timeouts, so they will get
Yeah, it's looking like
maybe a
bad, you just have to run it back.
Bad snap, block punt.
looking like I would assume that they'd have to play for the touchdown. I mean, they do have 2 timeouts, but they need 6. Although I've also heard 7 from the announcers, so it could go either way. Let's see. I would imagine that Shanley is going to be open. He's a big target for Kolaski. This is it right here.
Kolaski, nice pass to Cole. He was pushed, and that's a pass interference.
Oh, and they call pass interference.
First down, 23 seconds. He literally just shoved him out of bounds.
Send help. How could you be that dumb?
The freshman Jerry Woodard with the push. Excuse me, I checked that. That was 2, not 28.
It's a whole different story now.
Byron Jones.
All right. They're showing the replay here. Clear pass interference. Wasn't even looking at the ball. Easy call for the official. So they're lined up here trying to win a title here.
And a chance.
And looks like there's going to be another timeout called.
And they keep getting in their own way. That'll back them up outside the 5.
Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens here. Endicott has the opportunity to put this one away if they can get a touchdown here. Here we go.
So you've got,
And I think
so you got Cole.
there's a bit of a delay here, but
And McManaway on the far side right. Whiteley in the backfield. Kolaski bobbled the snap a little bit.
here it is. Touchdown, goals.
Riley Shanley.
Huge play by Endicott.
Have just been completed. 20.5 seconds left. There's still a little bit of time.
Western New England without a
25
timeout.
seconds left.
20.5
Unbelievable.
extra point coming up here for DiCarano to make it a field goal would
And
only
the kick looks like it was good. They've got the wrong score there. Western New England doesn't have 40.
snap is down, it's a little high, kick is
Should be 41 to
41 to 38 with 20.5
41 to 38. Right. You get the scoreboard right.
7-yard touchdown catch from Joe Kolaski. His fifth out of the game.
There you go. 38 to 41. Big turn of events. What a play by this team. They've just fought back. 17-0 in the first quarter. Had the lead briefly there. Gave it back up, and now here they are with a chance to win the game and force the CCC title to be determined in Week 11.
A.J. Hall, Adam Raza back to return this kick. DiCarano. Wind will be at his back. Watch this. Flags, wave. Always.
All right. They're not going to probably fake it here. They'll try to kick this deep, but with the wind, they might need some help keeping that on the tee.
A third time is when you have it. The holder come out.
Let's see if it's going to stay long enough before.
Here we go.
It stays long enough for
DiCarano's kick.
Deep kick. Definitely helped by the wind.
He's still bobbling.
Oops. Oh boy. That could have been the game right there. But the refs are signaling it's Golden Bears ball, but just from the body language of Western New England, you can tell that they know with under 20 seconds to go and probably 90 yards that they are in big trouble.
After Hall, freshman, baby, with the recovery.
just trying to catch it. He bombed it multiple times, and now
Here we go.
Endicott is 16